Lala is still talking about this season of Vanderpump Rules and the fans' reactions to her. Scheana, she's struggling via Alex Baskin Robbins and so much more, you guys. So hopefully you're wearing something comfy. Grab something to drink and let's get started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want. Your heart's made of gold, but don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture, Joleen Lunzer, here to talk about all of our favorite pop culture news, Bravo television news, reality TV shows, all the things we love to hate, hate to love. You know the drill. This is where we take a comedic look. You know, we roast it, we recap. I'm definitely very biased. You know, I always have my favorites and I have my opinion, which I'm very opinionated if you know me, but that doesn't mean you have to agree with me all the time. You're welcome to have your opinion in the live chat or the comment section. As long as we're not being a bungholes to each other, we can just agree to disagree and have a good time.
That's my opinion!
Again, this is no offense, all offense, where I don't mean to offend, but probably someone will get offended because that is just what happens when, you know, opinions surface. Sometimes we get a little offended and that's okay, but no offense, all offense. You guys smash that like. Happy, what is it? Is it Monday? It's Monday. Happy Monday night. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're on our way to 40K. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. You can send a super thanks after the video posts. A lot of you on the replay crew sent me a super thanks. So thank you so much to those of you who have done that. You're always welcome to hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Everything is in the description of this video. You don't have to. If you want to, you can. And then we just hit 200 members here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for becoming a member of the Lean team here on YouTube, and also all my supporters over on Patreon. I appreciate you guys so very much. I did also want to give a quick shout out before we jump into all the fun tonight. I had some people get little gifts off my Amazon wish list, and I always think this is so sweet. So Charlene, thank you so much. Charlene sent me the cutest stuff and something that was okay. So Charlene, oh my God, Charlene sent me my little notebooks, and I love a little notebook because, you know, as a comedian and as a doodler and as just someone, I just love a notebook. So these adorable little notebooks. And then look at how cute this case is for my AirPods. And it's like, it's a little, well, it's a suitcase. Okay. And I love it. And you can put little stickers on it, which I did for national parks. And I'm obsessed. So thank you so much. And then producer Tilly, who's not here today, she had to get her Silencia shot for her stuff in her back, her arthritis, I think, in her back. She gets those monthly, so she's kind of laying low today. But thank you. Lydia sent me a scratcher, a little scratching box, and Tilly loves a scratcher. We just got her a new cat tower, and she loves it. But it's this super cute box, and it was on my Amazon wish list, and I really, 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 really appreciate it. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see if I missed anyone or anything here. No, I've just been getting the cutest stuff lately. So you guys are amazing and lovely and wonderful and all the good things. But we have so much to talk about, you guys. And we're going to get into some like Bravo trending stories. And then we are going to review the Lala Kent on Two Twats in a Pod, or Two T's in a Twat. Tamra Judge and Teddy Mellon Cougar Camp and Friend, their podcast. Lala went on there, and I believe the episode premiered last night or yesterday or something. And I wasn't going to listen to it. I'm like, oh, kind of bored with it. But then I started, you know, doing some cleaning and popped in my AirPod, and I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. We have to talk about it all. So it's just, let's get started, you guys.
Thank you. You know, you're welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. I love how I was staring at my phone and I was like, where's my phone? As I'm staring directly at my phone. Okay. So, but first things first on our list of things that we must discuss. Let's get out of my no offense, all offense and Instagram and into my Joleen Lunzer Instagram. Okay. So, if you didn't catch it already, we did do a deep dive roast reaction recap of the who are they? Vicky and Kyle Chain on Up and Adam's channel, the interview. That was like an insane interview. Two twats in a pod, whatever they call it. I think they are, I don't know what they call their podcast. Sometimes I'm always confused. I'm like, okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But that was a crazy interview. And people are still talking about that interview because Billy Lee has responded, and we'll take a listen to that. But yeah, it was very, very interesting. Okay. So, apparently there is, and this is kind of, I think, this is a couple days old now, but people are saying that, Lindsay from Summer House, Lindsay Carl, that debacle, we got to talk about that eventually too. Cause I'm getting caught up on the Summer House and the reunions airing and the West of it all. It's crazy. So people are saying that originally Lindsay was supposed to be on the cast of Traitors, season 3 of Traitors, which allegedly is filming right now in Scotland with Alan Cummings. So Lindsay was supposed to be on it, but they replaced her allegedly with Sierra because they're saying Lindsay Hubbard is pregnant. Now, I did see Lindsay post some pictures because they're all out in Italy at Andele's, his wedding. And I guess Carl is there as well. I never want to speculate if a woman is pregnant or say someone looks pregnant. I usually, unless the baby's crowning, I don't say anything because I've been asked if I was pregnant too many times while wearing, an A-line fitted skirt or dress for my liking that I just don't want to ask anyone that. Okay. Yeah, I think we're like 500 people away from 40,000 Samantha Stevens. So thank you. Share me with your friends. And so they replaced her allegedly with Sierra because Traitors has a no pregos. You can't be prego on the Traitors. I think they're just like, no, too big of a liability. So, okay. Either way, I'm happy that Lindsay Hubbard would have been a great get for Traitors season 3. I would have been totally on board for that. But apparently people are saying that she's pregnant and she does have this new boyfriend. I don't know who the boyfriend is. I haven't looked that far into it yet. But if she is pregnant, congratulations. Who's the daddy? We don't know. Not Carl. Hopefully not West. Wouldn't that be crazy if it ended up being West? That's so random. They're not anything. I'm just thinking in terms of Scandival type situations. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say anything. You guys, Raquel, aka Rocky Balboa Levis, is on Cameo. And she is doing some unhinged cameo. She heard from her friend Joe Malone. No, Joe, I do love a Joe Malone, but Kaylee Joe Wenberg, that Cameo was the place to be. And so she has entered the chat. Let's listen to one of her cameos. Shout out to Housewives Wear on the Instagram. They shared this. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Raquel from Vanderpumprules. I am dying to send your friends and family members a personalized message through Cameo. I think this is a great way to connect and send something really unique and fun. So if you would like to book me, I am available now.
So if you want to book her, there you go. She thinks it's a really neat way to connect. So, and like, who said that in, someone said in the chat here, Mallory, shout out to Mallory, said, yeah, her cameo is like $219. So it's a pretty penny you're gonna have to pay. And she is pictured with her galaxy lights on. So I assume you're gonna get galaxy lights in the cameo as well. Care Bear, thank you for being a member for 33 months, Care Bear. That is insane and amazing. And I appreciate you. Care Bear says, I feel like Sheehan and blah, blah don't want to work. Okay. Instead, want to run their mouths on podcasts because all they are doing is lying at this point. I mean, yeah, wait till we get into the two T's. Super duper neat, Kristen. Hide your daddies. Hide your guys, because Rachel is on the prowl. And yes, Blocked by Jax took a screenshot of it, and she is in fact charging $219 for a cameo. Blocked by Jax wrote, I thought this was hilarious. Shout out to them on Instagram. They wrote, for only $219, you can ruin someone's day, with a cameo from Rachel Rocky Levis. Oh, goodness. I mean, that is wow. Teresa Giudice, you guys, started a new podcast. She had a podcast, I guess, before. I got to get caught up on my Jersey this season, but obviously it's not going well. Not well, bitch, like Dorinda Medley says, because they're not even getting a reunion. And the Melissa and Teresa versus Margaret, it's just like, it's run its course. It's boring at this point. I don't know how long they thought we'd want to watch or not watch, and now they're not even barely interacting with one another. And I don't know. I was on my way to covering every episode this season, but I've been so disappointed with Jersey Housewives that I just took a break from it, because I don't know. I do know. It's not that I don't know. I do know. It sucks to see them fighting 10 years later over sprinkle cookies or a very little brother named Joey Gorga. Whatever the fight is about, whether Joey borrowed money from Teresa when they were when he was first starting out, Melissa joined just to one up Teresa. Teresa and Louie took the pizza oven idea. There's always some dumb reason they're fighting, and I'm just not that into it. But we will get caught up eventually. Now, Teresa, I thought she had a podcast with a blonde lady, something about like namaste. You know, she always includes yoga, but apparently she left Blonde Lady. I don't know if there's any drama around that, but she's starting her own podcast, and it's this Wednesday, and it looks like Louis got himself involved. Shocker. Just from like the little promo they're running. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Teresa is it's just going to be Teresa's podcast, but really, let's be honest, that's probably Louis's podcast. Okay. And she looks to be interviewing her family, Lobster Louie, and her family. And the podcast is called Turning the Tables with Teresa. So she's going back to her roots of the table turning. No more namaste. Okay. Give me a thumbs up if you guys can. Please. Oh, you know what? They might copyright strike me for this song. So anyways, here she is. I'm just going to keep it on mute. I'll tell you what she says. Hi, it's me, Teresa. And I don't know. I got a new podcast. If you could like, subscribe, and rate it. I love it. And Louie's here. Mwah, 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 love. And then it's Turning Tables with Teresa, and we get to see Lobster Louie's face, and Teresa kind of knows where to talk into the mic, so that is cool. And then we see her cute little daughters. Melania's right there, and here she is. And oh God, Louie. Oh, every time I see him, I have like a visceral reaction. I'm just like, no, thank you. So if you want to check out Turning the Tables this Wednesday, guys, I'm probably going to check out maybe the first couple episodes just to see. But I want to know what happened to the blonde lady. What happened to that blonde lady she used to podcast with? What's going on over there? Huh, T? Huh, Tree? What's happening? She was also on Watch What Happens Live. I've only seen clips. She showed up in like a Britney Spears bodysuit from a music video and told Andy that, no, prove it, that she is not involved with bloggers trying to put out stories about her cast members and things. And at this point, we all know that's true. I mean, you can go anywhere on the Twitter because it'll never be X to me. And you can see that Teresa is, doing this, and that they're all kind of playing with bloggers, but Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, they have so many screenshots of them. I haven't gotten really deep into researching this because I'll be honest, some of these Jersey bloggers kind of scare me. and I get tagged and stuff with them, and I'm like, I have no idea who you are, what you're doing, what's happening here, but I definitely don't want to be going toes, as Lala would say, with any of the Jersey bloggers who may or may not have been paid by Teresa. No, thank you. All right. I have been warned about a couple, and I just stay far away. And then Margaret was involved. Like, Margaret's doing it too. They're all just, they've really ruined Housewives of New Jersey, which is really, really sad. Okay, there is a Real Housewives of Orange County, which I said last live. Orange County looks so good. The like season promo for it looks so good, like our first look. And according to newbie Katie Janella, she's telling Radar Online, she's already talking. And we haven't even met this woman yet. And she's already talking and saying she wanted to quit mid-season and that she hates Heather Dubrow. So Heather is going to have, a couple people that hate her, which I think is, kind of on par for every season. And she thinks Emily Simpson is fake AF. Okay. And Emily Simpson says, give me some more Ozempic. She's just looking for the OZ. And I love that for her. Yeah, the blonde lady she used to podcast with got in a fight with Louis. Oh, God, that man. It's coming. Surviving Louis, I'm sure, will be here before we want it, before we know it, before all the things. And that'll be very interesting. The surviving Louis, unfortunately. All right. As far as Scheana goes, people are saying that Alex Baskin-Robbins is telling the press that Scheana, she was saying that production got involved and they were basically like, this show is going to be canceled if you guys don't do something. And that's where Scheana stepped in and she said, I have to do something. I'm going to have to, be friends with Tom Sandoval or, try to make something happen and betray my friend Ariana because otherwise we're going to lose the show. But Alex Baskin-Robbins is saying that's not how it went down. I mean, is anyone surprised that he doesn't have the women's back? Not really. So basically what he fired back, and this is according to Reality Blurb, Alex Baskin-Robbins shuts down Scheana Shay's claims that of a manufactured storylines and hints at shakeup, clarifies mid-season intervention, and confirms The Valley season 2 cast. So executive producer over here, you'll see him on the screen, Alex Baskin-Robbins, who him and Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog did really shitty this season, producing and all the things for Vanderpumprules, in my opinion. He and Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog might be fired. We don't know. So he was firing back at Scheana Shay. And then when she suggested on her podcast, another podcast, that Alex Baskin-Robbins pushed her to fake storylines amid filming on season 11. So after Shay, Scheana, 39, I don't even know what Brock's last name is. I think we all are still calling her Scheana Shay, which must be very interesting for Shay, her ex-husband. And where is he? He did have one banger. I was like, okay, Shay. And I think it was about Scheana, but that was a long time ago, a song that he had. So she took to her podcast to suggest that Alex Baskin-Robbins threatened her and other cast members with a series cancellation if they failed to produce high drama. Alex denied any such thing, slamming her claims against him as a dramatic account of a conversation he had with the cast midway through production. It shouldn't shock anyone that this man is now referring to the women on the show as dramatic when they are retelling what their, version of what happened and how they got to where they were on the show this season. He might as well just call them hysterical at this point. So it's not lost on me that, wow, how he was like, so dramatic. She's hysterical, basically. That's not how it went down. But Scheana Shay was like, yes, it is. So again, another reason we've talked about all season for like Lala and Scheana, don't do these dudes dirty work. You know, you should stay strong with your cast. That is, I mean, we've seen so much success in past shows where the cast stays strong with one another when they're not, you know, when you don't have a huge ego and you want the show to do well, then you want everyone on the show to do well, and you're not jealous and you're not weird and you're not willing to throw anyone under the bus, especially people who don't deserve it. Maybe they could have just come together and said, oh, okay, well, if Tom Sandoval ruined the show and you want this redemption arc for him and we have to take the heat for it, well, then just fire Tom Sandoval. We're not going to do it. Okay. He's like 80. He should be retired anyways. Tom Sandy Butt. But no, instead they were so quick to throw their friend Ariana and Katie under the bus, and so quick to go against their own, I think their own, I don't know if it's morals, but they go against any integrity or any consistency within their own person and their own storyline from the previous season, just to do the dirty work or, this bad plan that was allegedly by Baskin Robbins and Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And look where it got you. So when you play dirty like this and you are willing to throw other women under the bus for men, guess what? They don't have your back. That's how life works. Men like this will quickly go, oh, Scheana's a liar, Lala's a liar. They're all liars. They're hysterical. They're dramatic. So then you lose your friends, and then you lose yourself, and you lose to these dudes because they so quickly will be like, oh, these bitches are crazy. So a little too late, but maybe a lesson in the future not to throw, especially Scheana, Ariana, one of your besties. Like, you're like, she's my boss from. And look where it gets you. It gets you with the executive producer basically saying you're a dramatic liar and lying about this. I mean, it's crazy. He says, and I quote, I think that was a pretty dramatic, heightened account of what happened. Oh, wow, Scheana. Alex stated during a recent interview at Variety TV's FYC Fest. Earlier this month on Scheana's podcast, the longtime cast member told her listeners about the chat Alex had with her and her castmates. I know Alex Baskin Robbins has said that mid-season, the show was not in a good place. She said, it was, X, Y, and Z needs to happen, or we're going to have a short season. And the show's going to be canceled, and that's it. Scheana had voiced her story after fans wondered why she and Lala Kent, 33, seemingly turned on longtime friend Ariana Madix, 38, shading her for failing to do her job and expose her whole life to the cameras as they offered a bit of grace to her cheating ex-boyfriend, Tom Sandoval, 41. And by a bit of grace, all the grace. In his own recollection of the discussion, Alex shared, we did get the entire cast together and we thought we had hit a point in the season where I actually think they were impacted by what was happening on social media. We basically were telling them to drown out the noise and to make the show that they had made over the previous 10 seasons. And that didn't mean we asked them to manufacture anything. Huh? Alex, quick to throw another woman under the bus, even the ones that were doing what he allegedly told them to. Even the good girls get shitted on, all right? Even the seemingly good girls. Steven, thank you for the first super chat of the live. Steven says, oh, Jolene, you're going to make me leave the gay karaoke bar just to see the surprise live. Love you. Love you right back. And enjoy your karaoke. As long as Sandy Butt isn't there, it's a good night. Pamela B, thank you for the super chat. Says, sounds like he canceled himself. Alex Baskin Robbins or Jeremiah was a bullfrog or both. Pamela. Oh, so Alex is just, I don't even know what he's saying here. He's just like, we did get the entire cast together. Okay, Alex. And we thought we had hit a point in the season where I actually think they were impacted by what was happening on social media. So Alex is like, you guys care too much what people think. You need to throw Ariana under the bus. Who cares if people say anything? Well, I think that Lala will look like the voice of reason. And then they're like, oh, that didn't happen. We basically were telling them to drown out the noise and to make the show that they had made over the previous 10 seasons. Well, don't make it like you did all the seasons, because some of the seasons were boring. All right. And that didn't mean we asked them to manufacture anything. Well, it did if it was going to go against what they were going to do, what they felt naturally inclined as people on the show were going to do. Then you were impacting that. Oh my God, this guy, I don't know about this guy. It didn't mean that we gave them any specific talking points, Baskin-Robbins continued. It just meant that we had made a show that worked because it was everybody rowing in the same direction. Well, guess who stopped rowing in the direction? Guess who sunk the boat? Guess who went on a new boat, had sex with that boat, poked all the holes in it, drowned that boat, and then came back and goes, oh my God, what did Ariana do? And we're like, what? No, that was you. You humped the boat and you punctured little holes in it and it drowned. It went down. So it was Tom Sandybutt that messed up the whole dynamic, the motion in the ocean. That is a sexual innuendo that they used. And we know Tom doesn't have the motion of the ocean. He's just like, he's just like Adderall. He does those like Adderall bangs, which is like, allegedly, everything I say is true except for the parts that are false. Everything is for comedic purposes and entertainment purposes only. But he's like, and he's just like a Beavis and Butthead banging it out. And then he leaves. He's a boat humper. He humped the boat. Okay. So, oh my gosh. That worked for everybody rowing in the same direction. He humped the oars. Okay. So yeah. And we've gotten away from that. Yeah. Tom Sandybutt did. So we thought we had to intervene in that. Yeah. You tried to intervene to go, we got to include Tom. We can't have him be responsible. As Pump Rules fans have surely heard, the show was put on pause, like Dorinda Medley was, and she didn't like that. After its 11th season concluded in May, we'll have a clearer picture a few months from now, Baskin-Robbins explained, of how the show will move forward. It was such an intense experience in such a compressed time frame. This dude is just all saying, now he's saying nothing. He's trying to be Mr. Cool in such a compressed time frame. I think we will do an analysis of what else we need to consider for the show. How about you hire some women? And how about you step down because you failed? How about that? How about we just go, bye-bye. Thank you, Baskin-Robbins. You can scoop some ice cream. Jeremiah was a bullfrog and go on another show. But I love how it's like the common denominator here that messed up the dynamic of the group was Tom Sandoval. And then you guys went into a season trying to save him. And it was totally unrealistic and ridiculous and just reeked of misogyny and the patriarchy. And we were like, ew, gross. We can see this in real life. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Don't you have any women working for you? And now you're like, we're going to have to do an analysis. I did an analysis already. It's that you weren't good at your job. That was the analysis. No offense, all offense, but that's all we need to know. And that's who returns. So he says they're going to do an analysis of what else we need to consider for the show. And that's who returns and what the complexion, of the cast looks like. Okay. He added, appearing to hint at a potential cast shakeup. Just fire yourself. Fire yourself, sir. And Tom Sandoval. Take him with you. You can grab Schwartz too. We don't need him. I think everybody needs a little bit of time to live their lives, and then we can pick back up on them in a different spot. Ugh. As for The Valley, there's no question about what the series future after its premiere captured the highest ratings of any new Bravo show in 10 years. Damn. I didn't know that. I knew it was popular, but I didn't think it did that. Well, Bravo hasn't really been killing it. No offense, all offense with shows for a while. I mean, how long did they keep Tardy for the Party on? That show was very tardy. Like it should have went a long time before it did. And then when it does start to get interesting, when it's like War of the Roses with what's her name, Kim and Croy, then they're not filming for that. But that would have been maybe watchable, the two of them on separate sides of the home. But then I just feel bad for the children. We go into production very shortly, and I'm excited about that, Baskin-Robbins says, because obviously all chaos is broken out in their lives. Citing breakups between Jax and Brittany, Jesse and Michelle Lolly. Alex also confirmed the show's season 2 cast. Everyone is coming back, which is great, he added. We're very excited to pick up with everyone in a different place and see what happens. Are you guys excited for The Valley season 2 to pick back up and to air? Because basically it is filming when Vanderpump Rules would normally film, since they're on a break. So we will probably get The Valley next year at the time we normally get Vanderpump Rules. Interesting. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat here. Judy says, for Baskins to say that he thinks a Sandy butt has too much more story to tell is laughable. Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, were they dating? Did they have an inappropriate relationship? Is he related to Tom Sandoval? Or does he just like gross, problematic men that ruin television shows? Does he see himself? Does he see himself in Feria by L'Oreal and he's worth it? Why Baskin Robbins? Karen, thank you so much. Karen says, I sent you a PayPal because you make me laugh every day. Thank you to those of you who have been hitting me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. It's so appreciated. And you guys are just so sweet and generous. Thank you. Thank you. I do too, Irene. Irene says, I find Baskins kinda. And our friend Rebecca Lieb, who we had on the podcast from Vanderpodclips Now, which I hope you all went and subbed to, because we love Rebecca Lieb. She was telling us that she heard that he is a little weird. So that wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me whatsoever. He does, Lisa Morgan put it perfectly. Alex Baskin Robbins sounds like a politician. He's talking like a politician. You know, it's kind of vague, but then it's not. And also, I know that I say vague. How do you guys say vague? Vague. My husband was trying to give me like speech lessons on how to take some of my Minnesota out of it, even though I do love my Minnesota. But I say bag, like it's like beg, but it's a bag. Can I get a bag? And I say vague. It's very vague. So there you go. Kate says, Jolene, super aunt by day, my favorite live podcast overnight. Yes, I am loving my time with the littles. We're going camping tomorrow in Santa Barbara. We're going to be camping on the beach until Friday. So I will be a little MIA, but definitely follow me on Instagram. And I'll try to post some stories there, whether it's from my camping with the littles and those adventures or from the Bravoverse or pop culture stuff. So, but I won't be here. Vague. No, it's vague. Vague. Okay. I need to go to some kind of speech therapy. I'm going to just keep the Minnesota because it's all I know. And I know it well. Yes, justice for the Midwest. Yeah, we went last year and we had so much fun. Now we're checking out a different campsite with a friend of mine and her daughters, and they all get along. And it's just, and my friend's a science teacher, so we have these like morning walks where she's like, that's a squidamorphous. You know, I don't know this stuff, but it's fun because I'm like, oh wow. And then we find like empty lobster shells and stuff and the kids. So it's really fun. Okay, let's get into the meat of what we're going to talk about tonight. And if you haven't smashed that like, please do. And that is Lala Kent on two T's and a twat, 2 T's in a pod. Okay. So Lala was with Teddy Mellencamp. Is this combination of Lala right now and Teddy Mellencamp is like going to hell. Really listening to them, having listened to Teddy Mellencamp anytime, in my opinion, no offense, all offense, Ted Dog, you were okay in Celebrity Big Brother, but Teddy's, to me, she's insufferable. Like there's so many parts of her that's insufferable. At times I'm like, oh, maybe she's not that, I'll give her a little chance. Then I'm like, much like Lala, she's just tooting her own horn, and she just doesn't, it's like she's not quite in reality. She's trying really hard. So they put her in the twat seat. That's what they said. I didn't say it. HC is a genius. Alex Baskin plus Victoria Lee Robbins equals Baskin Robbins. that is like a conspiracy theory. Because on Reddit, there's a conspiracy theory. Shout out to Bravo Buds. They were talking about they captured these screenshots from Reddit where Reddit was talking about how they feel like Kyle Chane and Victoria Lee Robbins from Baskin Robbins, allegedly, okay, that they were getting fed lines while they were live. And I did notice, if you watch that interview on Up and Adam, that there were lots of people walking by. And I just thought, I attributed that to the fact that they were in, I believe, Kyle Chan's jewelry store. But for a moment, I thought, oh, it's probably Tom Sandoval's probably there telling them, say this, say that. But then everyone's like, no, Tom Sandybutt is filming for Trader Season 3, so he's not there. But some people were speculating that at one point, maybe there was some cards that someone was holding up and people were telling him what to say. So who knows? But maybe it's just a giant conspiracy theory like HC is saying, where Alex Baskin plus Victoria Lee Robbins equals Baskin Robbins, and it is their job to take down everything that's good about Vanderpump Rules for themselves and to save Tom. Because we all remember everybody who's trying to help is doing this, or trying to help Tom is doing it for Tom Sandoval. I don't know. Kirsty Jeffrey, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. All right, so let's get into this podcast. I'm going to play the audio here, and we'll see what Lala had to say on the TWOT seat with Lala Kent. And I will say, Teddy and Tamara have so many sponsors. They must be like, I am going to speed up. They must be rolling in the dough.
100% certainty of people not liking what.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Lala was like, she did her last live, and we covered, or her not her last live, her podcast. And she's had a podcast come out since then, but like 2 weeks ago now, where she's like, I'm going to talk about season 11. And I just, and then she played the victim. If you missed it, we did a whole live about it. I don't want to go too far back into that. And then she was just like, everyone's being mean to me and they're talking about how I'm a mother. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we're not really talking about how you're a mother. I think you're a fine mother. I don't have any issue with your mothering. Congratulate. I really don't. I don't have. But she used that to, victimize herself. And a lot of people have felt as though Lala has been weaponizing motherhood and also her pregnancy so that nobody can reply to her because she's pregnant, which I think is also very patronizing to women. I think anyone's argument that's like, leave that pregnant woman alone. She can't talk. She's pregnant. Like, we as women, I don't know if, like, I wish pregnant women received more, like, I wish menstruating women in general, we just receive days off and shit, because we go through so much every month. Mothers are amazing and they're carrying life, and people are just like, whatever, so I wish we got like vacations or something, or days off, menstrual days off every month, but we don't. And I find it kind of patronizing to be like, oh, they can't handle it, they're so fragile. And I don't think that's necessarily a good look, because what a woman's body is doing is like literally so amazing. A man wishes, I don't think they wish, but they could, it's like, it's amazing and all. But it's like Lala's fine dishing it out. She's fine talking about it. She's fine stirring up drama. She's fine poking the bears, kind of trolling the audiences. She says she liked doing that. And then when there's any pushback on her, all of a sudden she's a victim and we're all horrible people because she's pregnant. Now, I will say, if you see a pregnant woman and they're in mass transit or something, give up your seat for older people, for pregnant people, things like that. But as far as, oh, she can't, no, she's literally won't shut up. This woman will not shut up. Right, N-Dub? Like, if we could get cycle days, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. If we could take into account like all of the hormones and everything we go through and all the pain and the fact that we're literally bleeding and expected to do everything the same, if not better, is it's silliness. It's silly goose behavior, because we are, just think if men did that, oh my God, they would get those days off and we would have to like rub their feet or something. There'd be a national law. So it's like, yes, it's implying that I think I know what people are doing, because it's such an easy thing to hide behind, to go, don't, I'm pregnant. I don't talk to her like that. She's pregnant. It's like, okay, first of all, she's not helpless. Second of all, it's not like people are just knocking on Lala's door going, excuse me, I would like to interrupt your pregnancy with some negativity. She is asking for, like, she's literally going out there having these conversations, and any pushback, anybody not liking what she's saying, then she's like, they're picking on me. I know about her. I had no idea either that she was pregnant, but allegedly she is. I wish she would talk about it more. I wish she would say it more. It's also, I feel bad because like some of you might have just watched part of my live a couple lives ago where I was saying, I can't believe Lala's pregnant every 5 minutes because she, brings it up all the time. And people were like, Joleen, how did you not know she's pregnant? So I think some of you, I didn't put the sarcasm on enough. So apologies. But yeah, so it's up to you as a person to stay out of the comment section, stay out if that is going to, you feel, be unhealthy with your pregnancy, and that is not up to other people. And then the thing is, she continues to talk about it. Yes, and does it? Marzia says, pregnancy does not cause the loss of brain. I don't know anymore. We don't know. Apparently, Janet's playing this card. I got to get caught up on The Valley too, you guys. It is. Right? My mom gained 90 pounds with me because I like to eat. Even as a fetus, I like to eat. Okay. So Lala's still talking. No one would talk. We'd have nothing to talk about if she would shut up. If she was so concerned, but she can't stop because her ego won't let her stop. She has to be right, and she has to tear Ariana down. She can't take it. Lala would be so much happier if she would just lean into her villain era. Who is out there? I think one of the dogs is at the door just sneezing. If Lala would just lean into it, like, you're a villain. And Tamra kind of tells her this during the podcast, because I think Tamra has finally, through the years, started to own her villainness. And I would be, okay, fine, you're a villain. Cool, awesome. Let's do that. And then you got to own it. And then the good, the bad, the ugly, everything that comes with it, the paycheck. But she won't. NYC Girl says, at this point, I don't see how Lala isn't a narcissist. It's interesting because it's very, she's showing a lot of Sandoval type behavior. So yeah, I'll catch up on my recaps, Mallory. I promise. It just won't be this week. But yeah, you can't be a soft villain. You got to lean in. You got to go. Because if you're telling us you're this hard bitch and you're like, come for me, then you can't be crying in the corner, pregnant or not. You just got to own it. And you can still be a villain and be like, you guys, I'm just emotional because I'm pregnant. But yeah, I do think that shit. And I am going to double down. But instead, she wants to create Ariana and Katie as the villains and herself as the voice of reason and like the good guy. And it's not working because it doesn't make sense. All right. So I'm so sorry that, we're not believing it, Lala, but you're not like us. You're different.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Not like us. Now I got my little nephew. He's always like, they not like us. They not like us. Yeah, clap or be quiet. There's no in between. All right, so let's get started, and we'll provide commentary and comedy about this masterpiece of a podcast episode.
Recapping Vanderpump Rules this entire season and riding hard for you. It's been a rough go for me.
Yeah.
So how's it going for you?
Well, I think it's been a rough go for Lala.
Oh, yeah,
Would you say this is your hardest season?
Yeah, it's been my hardest season. Like, I'm used to being the person who people don't really dig, but the hate is very loud this season. And a lot of it doesn't have much to do with the season. It's more like it'll start with people not liking what I've said on the show, but then
Or maybe your podcast?
Or my podcast, but then they go for like, I feel bad for your child. And they start talking about me as a parent, which normally I can shake off. I think I got pregnant shortly after the season, or no, I mean, I was pregnant at the premiere party of Vanderpump. So the hormones were already like raging inside of me, and I was very sensitive. I'm still very sensitive. And I don't need to be like scrolling through comments to know what people are saying. Like, I'm aware. My team has told me like it's rough out there for you.
But why don't you just tell your team, like, calm it down. While I'm preggers, I don't want to hear this shit. Wait till after this Virgo baby's born, and then we can deal with it. But I think even if she wasn't pregnant, she would have the same response. She doesn't deal well with criticism. And a lot of people don't. It's hard. It is hard to be criticized. But if you are going to, make a move like this and you're going to criticize other people, like that might come come with it. You're not immune to this shit. Then we all get criticized within life, but it's almost like she's like, I'm untouchable. You can't criticize me. And again, she's talking about how people are like talking about her being a mother. And I just guarantee you that's now it is. Because when she starts to explain the season and why she did what she did, it has nothing to do with the mother aspect. It's all Ariana and, you know, they didn't bring it, and you'll hear that. So, and at this point, why do you care? Here's my main question. And maybe you guys can educate me on this. Why would she care what strangers on the internet think about her being a mother? People who don't like her or trolls. Why would she care about that? Why would you care? I would literally delete every comment that talked about me and what? She doesn't even show that on the show because Randall won't let her. So why would you let that weigh so heavily on you? It's not about that. It's her saying it's about that when really it's just that she thought, and she was told by production, and she'll say this later in the episode, she really thought she was going to be the voice of reason. This is going to be her star season. Andy told her this, the producers and everybody, you know, and then the fans were like, nah, no thank you. No, thank you. No, who would behave like this to a friend? Why would she treat Ariana like this? We just saw through it. We saw through it. We saw that she was just willing to throw her friend under the bus because she was jealous and she wanted money and she wanted to be the star. That's what we saw. So I mean, you can say what you want, Lala. We can have a crybaby day about these motherhood comments, but why wouldn't you just block and move on? Don't care about anyone's opinion that's never met you, Lala. Like, they don't know you. You know if you're a good mother. And anyone who would talk shit about you being a mother, if anyone even ever did, you know, those are shitty people anyways. So what do you, But again, you are putting in possibly your next child on television, and you do want to, you know, show this experience. So you're opening yourself up to criticism. So I think if anyone's saying anything about her child, like Ocean, like making really mean comments, I think that's where you go too far. But I actually don't think it's too far. I wouldn't do it. But if people have an opinion about her and what she shows, whether it be on social media or on the show, or what she talks about regarding that, because you know, she, as much as she says now she would put or she wanted to put Ocean on the show, but that was the one good thing Randall ever did, and he didn't do it, like we talk about, for good reasons. He probably just did it to piss her off. But once you open up, Lala, just so you know, once you open up if there is another season and you are on the show, or if you ever do reality TV with your other daughter, you open yourself up to being criticized as a mother, because you're profiting off of your kids and putting them on a reality show about you as a mother. And people have opinions about all of this. People who watch these shows, they might not like something you do or say, or, you know, when it comes to being a mother and what you're showing. That's literally your job then, is you putting your life out there and your life as a mother. How can you not think people are going to have opinions about that? Oh my God. Okay.
Do you care?
Yeah.
What level of shits do you give?
I think I'd be lying if I said I gave no shits this season, because I feel like what I was saying was just like so clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but no one else saw it that way.
Well, Andy said previously that it's your best season ever.
Which is what's so wild is people like Andy Cohen were telling me, like, this is your MVP year. Like, you are the voice of reason. And I felt that way during the season. So then when it came out and the level of hate, like, I'm used to like maybe a 60-40.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still.
I know your pain.
So she just answered our question for us. Okay. So she says it's about these mothering comments, but really Andy Cohen told her, she just told us right here, that this was her season. She's the voice of reason, and she's only used to a 60-40. So this amount of people not enjoying her on the season was too much for her. So it had nothing to do about the mothering comments. That's just her, like people are saying in the chat, her using motherhood as a shield and a sword. And that was a wonderful way to put it. Thank you, Kelly Cal, for the super chat. Kelly Cal says, oh, thank God I only missed 30 minutes. Only 30 minutes. Okay. Thank you, Amalesh. Good morning to you, Amalesh. And Amalesh says, starting my day here with a Joleen live. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much. So she just literally told us the answer. So everything now that she says, if she's is attributing her reaction to this season and to the fact that people left comments about her being a mother is not true. Because you told us you thought you were going to be the star of the season, the voice of reason, the person everyone was like, hell yeah, Lala. And that didn't happen. And that pissed you off. And you weren't ready for that. So you're sad about that. It really hurt your ego. Your ego took a big hit. Just own that shit. Own that shit, Lisa Rinna. Yes, HC is the one who said it here perfectly. She uses motherhood as a shield and a sword. A shield and a sword. Yes, and that maybe don't listen to the men running these TV shows because they cannot predict the future and they cannot predict what we, the viewers, are going to think. And when you, essentially jump the shark and do something that appears like Nico Moon is saying that you completely sold out and are throwing your friend who's going through a traumatic experience under the bus, most women and a lot of men who watch the show are going to be like, huh? What? No, why? What? And then you're all of a sudden caping for Tom Sandoval. We're going to go, this is disingenuous AF. Who is this chick? And then you turn to now trying to hate on Ariana and paint her in a bad light and say she has a huge ego. We're going to be like, are you kidding me? When she said Ariana has a bigger ego than Tom Sandoval, when she was on Access Hollywood or one of those, I was like, she's gone. She is gone. The hate, when people talk about the fans and the fans are crazy and the fans hate, no, Lala's hate. Lala has so much envy and hate toward Ariana and Katie in them that's where the real hate comes from, not from these fans. Not from these fans. Please stop blaming us because you messed up and then you can't handle the consequences of your mess up. Okay?
Like, wow, this is very intense because I did feel like I was making sense.
And I think I truly believe that you were making sense. I think the hard part about as a viewer, if I take myself completely out of it, is people want to see what they want to see. They wanted to believe the same way for a little while. We wanted to believe that you and your ex were living this great relationship, this great life. Everything was great. And you probably felt that same way. I think that people felt that way about Ariana and Tom. I know personally, I've hung out with them multiple times. So to me, there was no big shock there.
Right.
Like, it was not this revelation, like, holy shit, they're like, this happened. Like, I was like, oh, of course it happened.
Right. And I was always on the fringe of the friendship group. And I called it out a mile away, like it just, the Raquel and Tom of it all. And then I also knew that.
Okay, the fact that Teddy Mellencamp was like, I wasn't surprised. Really, Teddy? Really thirsty Teddy Mellencamp? You saw the Rachel Raquel affair? Girl, she wants to be a part of everything. You shared a car with people a couple times and she's got all the tea and all the stories and she knows it all. And that's what makes her like so insufferable where you're like, Teddy, please stop. Teddy's like, I wasn't surprised at all. Teddy, have your husband work on the security system because housewives are sick of getting robbed. Allegedly. Okay. And maybe we moved on from that. But Teddy, please stop. Please stop, Teddy.
Like they both for many years have like planned how they're going to go into a season.
Yeah.
They both for many years have kind of played this role of like, we keep, Ariana said this season she was gray rocking. I'm like, you've been gray rocking from the jump, babe. Like there's no change here except this year, like we actually need you to do something. And I know.
Lala, how do you think people are going to respond to this? You dummy. Like, I just don't understand it. She's like, but you've been gray rocking, sis. You've been gray rocking from the jump. From the start. So she's saying Ariana's been gray rocking from the jump. And we just need you to do something. When did you become the producer? When did you decide that you are the know-all, be-all, tell-all, and decider of who does something on the show and who doesn't? Because there were so many seasons, Lala, where you weren't sharing or doing shit. Or you were putting us through those awful Randall years, NDAs, BJs for PJs. I'm not talking about my man. My man is better than your man and showing up and interesting outfits and getting mad at people. And then Ariana had to check you and be like, oh, babe, I've always been cool. I've been cool since birth. Lala. And then she's just like, oh no, I'm so soft. I'm so kind. But you're not. You are shading Ariana every chance you get. You think she never did anything and she needed to do something. So you had to step in. That's how much you think. You think so highly about yourself. And that's the part that people are like, ew. Now, if you owned it, if you would just own it, like, yeah, I know that that's bitchy, but that's me. I own that shit. I gets to clapping. But no, you don't. You're like, no, it's not mean. No, that is freaking mean. That is a mean thing to say about your friend, Ariana, who does not talk shit about you. Ariana literally doesn't talk shit about you. She just doesn't. I wish she would, but she's too busy. She's too busy anyways.
You know, like it just, the Raquel and Tom of it all. And then I also knew that like they both for many years have like planned how they're going to go into a season.
Yeah.
They both for many years have kind of played this role of like, we keep, you know, Ariana said this season she was gray rocking. I'm like, you've been gray rocking from the jump, babe. Like there's no change here except this year, like we actually need you to do something. And I know that sounds not nice and I'm not meaning for it to come across that way. But it was like for many, many seasons before this happened, it was like it was okay for her to kind of be in the background.
Yeah.
It was fine. It worked
But if
well.
the entire season is ramping up to be about her,
It's an ensemble cast. What are and I'm not meaning that to be mean. Then what were you meaning it to be? What else is it? Oh my gosh.
You're the main story, babe. I'm going to need a little bit of something.
And I agree with that 100%. I feel like you did.
Tam. I know you like Lala. She's your little friend, but you know better, Tam. Tam, you know Ariana brought it. You guys just don't watch. They're not into, like Teddy says, I recapped all season, but then Lala mentions multiple things about Vanderpump Rules and she don't know. Teddy wants to say she is like the expert on Vanderpump and she doesn't even know because she hasn't watched previous seasons like that. So she doesn't know. She doesn't know all the things Ariana's done and how much Ariana brought to season 10 and also season 11. They keep telling Lala and people keep lying to her saying there wouldn't have been a season without you. How? Where was the good Lala parts? It was just infuriating. Where were the good, interesting, fun parts when she was talking out of this side of her mouth or that side of her mouth? Or talking out of her ass? Where was the good? Come on, Tam. We could do better. We can do better. This is ridiculous at this point. And I agree with you.
It was fine. It worked
but if
well.
the entire season is ramping up to be
And the fact that they're like, come on, the storyline's about you, babe. You got to bring it. Like, Ariana doesn't know how to. Like, Ariana didn't sit there in season 10 on the couch with Tom Sandoval. Like, Ariana didn't call producers the minute it happened to tell them so that they could put the cameras back up, pause Beverly Hills, and start filming again so that we could see this Scandival, the beginnings of it. Because they were already done filming. Like, Ariana didn't do enough. Bitch, this show would be over. Like, literally, Ariana. Tom just was stupid and playing with his wiener in the wrong spots. He was putting it just in any little nook and cranny he could get it in. But Ariana was the true person that was like, all right, I guess we got to call producers. Hey, what's up? Jeremiah was a bullfrog and Alex Baskin-Robbins. Yep, Tom's cheating on me. We got in a fight in an Uber. We stayed up till 5 a.m. We smoked a bunch of cigarettes. He's an asshole. So get the cameras back. Ariana saved the season. You didn't save the season. What was your storyline before? But and I'm only asking that because you seem to just be like a storyline expert. What were you bringing? The Randall? What was it? I don't know. I don't know what you would have done. What did she do in season 10 before Scandival? So it was a lot of Rachel, Raquel, and Katie, and the breakup of Schwartz and Katie, and her like just wanting to. Lala just wanted to play like new Stassi, but she couldn't handle it. So Katie was the one that was just like, I don't like you. I want to burn you both. I want to set you both on fire. Those were Katie's lines, not Ariana or not Lala's lines. So what did you do again? How does someone who's done so little want like so much? How does she put down the reason for the season? Ariana is the reason for the season. She's the reason you had to send it to Daryl. She's the reason we all were like, oh, hell yeah, Lala. Okay. Then, she was the reason you got to project and act out during the reunion. She's the reason you got to have this on your podcast. How do you put down the reason for the season? I'll just never understand this logic. And even with people who are like, even you can like Lala and still go, this is a little weird. She's really up her own ass on this one because this doesn't make any sense.
Season she was gray rocking. I'm like, you've been gray rocking from the jump, babe. There's no change here except this year, like, we actually need you to do something. And I know that sounds not nice, and I'm not meaning for it to come across that way. But it was like for many, many seasons before this happened, it was like it was okay for her to kind of be in the background.
Yeah.
It was fine. It worked
But if
well.
the entire season is ramping up to be about her,
You're the main story, babe. I'm going to need a little bit of something.
And I agree with that 100%. I felt like you did a lot and you tried to get her to talk. And she was just, I don't know. I mean, I get a little bit confused about all this because you guys have all slept with each other all the time.
Yeah.
Wasn't Tom?
Oh, here. Hi, producer Tilly. Oh, are you feeling better since you got your silencia? Tam, that old, like, it's like your aunt who watched one episode or read one article and is like, well, didn't they all just sleep with each other? That very tired, cliched look at Vanderpump. Oh, but they all banged each other in the early seasons. Yes, but now we're talking about a relationship that spanned 9 years and bought a home together in a totally different age group. Now they're like, well, didn't they all just touch pee-pees? Didn't they all do it? So Tam's got the hot take that we haven't heard before. Is that, oh, they all did. Just Rubes, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Amalesh, thank you so much for the super chat. Amalesh says, as someone who's conducted health camps for underprivileged kids, it was sad to see Lala call herself an underdog since kindergarten, tone deaf. That's a perfect term for Lala. She's extremely tone deaf and she's extremely blind to her own privilege. I really think Lala thinks she's like a woman of color. I honestly think she thinks she's had the experience of a woman of color in America. I honestly think she's had some kind of person of, like, she thinks her experience is very different than it was, and the way she puts it. And you're like, huh? And you'll hear it in this episode where you're like, what? Huh? So, but yes, that's a way to do it. That's a great way to say it, Amalesh. It's very tone deaf, and she doesn't realize this shit. She's like, no. And you're like, no. You're a white lady from Utah. You came from a 2-parent upper middle class Utah family. Why are you trying to pick a struggle that's not yours? Not saying that, everyone comes with some kind of struggle, no matter, where they're at. But how she lays it down, how she throws it out there, it's like she literally, I don't know if she just saw like Dangerous Minds a few too many times, and she was like, oh, okay. She thought she went to some like fictional city school, and she just no, she didn't grow poor. She did not grow up poor. She'll explain a little more, but not that we're aware of that she grew up poor. The downtrodden Lauren, the beautiful, privileged 2-parent double income household in Utah. But okay. Let's keep going.
With Kristen when he started sleeping with Ariana?
Yeah. And granted, the stakes were much higher. And granted, like, there are nuances where it's like, this is mind blowing. I can't believe that Rachel could do this to her friend. Like, I got that, right?
Yeah. I mean, what Tom did was shitty. There's
very
no doubt
shitty.
about it.
I think where I was struggling to make sense of it. And again, like Ariana said, it doesn't need to make sense to you. Just like I said to Katie, my life doesn't need to make sense to you. That's absolutely true. But personally, where I was like, I don't understand is when this happened on March 1st. And then I believe she had a wedding by March 10th and had already met a new guy.
Yeah.
And like, they weren't.
Again, who made you the police, Karen, of who gets to move on and when and meet someone and do that? Like, why are you doing so much math about her relationship? Worry about your own. You literally were with Randall Emmett, a very problematic person. He ruined and hurt a lot of people. He ruined a lot of lives, or tried to at least, and hurt a lot of people. We learned from the Randall scandal. And you can't tell me, when I watched the Randall scandal and all those things that were going on, that she didn't see any of this behavior towards other. I think she even admitted that she did see some of the bad behavior and things like that. And then all of a sudden she's going to be the authority. She's going to be the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to when Ariana can meet someone, and how that in any way is in direct correlation to if she will be over what just happened with Tom Sandoval, as if that trauma never existed. This is like, it's insane that she just keeps doubling down. Thank you, Pamela B, for the super chat. Pamela B says Lala needs to check her privilege. Oh, she does. She really does.
Exclusive, but you started dating. Like, you don't just meet someone and fall into boyfriend, girlfriend, right? But you started dating someone. You stayed in the house. You came back to this show. And
you literally date married people. I don't know what. I would just take a seat. If I was known on national television, national, international, shout out to Christina Coca, national, international, like Joe Wenberg says, for being the other woman and being with a married man for years, I would probably sit this one out when it comes to relationship advice. That's just me, though. That's just me.
That's where I think I was feeling very conflicted, is I'm like, I understand the pain you're going through, but if I'm relating to it and then I'm seeing like how you could move on from something so traumatic, I just don't see how you could be that devastated.
I have a question. Do you think that there's a part of you that knows that you have been on for all of these years, and every single year you've had to fight for it? Like, you have had, whatever it is that you're showing in your life, you have had to show up and do it. And she's been able to sit back, and now here she is this year. It's just like the opportunities keep on coming. They're flooding in. And now here she is again, sitting back.
Yes, Nepo baby Teddy Mellencamp. Tell us about the struggle. Tell us about how Ariana's just like sitting back and getting everything. Yes, more Nepo babies. Can we just shut the Nepo babies up in Hollywood? I am so tired. Teddy Mellencamp, you wouldn't be on a show. No, we wouldn't know you. You wouldn't be telling these women allegedly to starve themselves with your accountability course if your last name wasn't Mellencamp. Oh my God. This chick, she... it's like, Teddy, I don't want to have to keep going, ugh, Teddy. But geez, I mean, know your place. Know you're going to call out Ariana, and you're sitting over there as a Nepo baby, making money off people starving themselves and getting on television shows because your last name? Okay, allegedly.
Do you think that plays into it at all, or do you think it's solely...
I want to be around women who like work hard, have things that are really cool. And if you we love a good flashback. Where's the flashback of me? Like, I wrote these girls handwritten cards about like how proud I was of them when they did this sandwich shop. Like, I have constantly tried to be very supportive. Not tried, I wanted to be supportive. These are my friends. When Ariana started getting opportunities outside of Vanderpump Rules, that's great for all of us.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I sat here and I was just little old me. Like, I have people screaming my name on the streets. The show reached a level that it never would have reached without this. And even though it was horrible, I was not mad at the opportunity she was getting outside of the show. What I started getting upset about is...
Oh, Layla. I don't know what to do with Layla anymore. Chickenhead PK Neely says her ability to find a good man is missing fun. Her ability to find a good man is missing fun. Her Lala is a gold digger. I mean, it's yeah. Nepo Petty Teddy. Yes. And thank you, Chickenhead, for the super chats. I mean, it looks like gold digger if the next day, if you're, going out with a guy and you're like, well, there are other people's PPs I can suck to get on a PJ. And you're like, huh? Right, Valerie? It's okay to say I was a little jealous. I did wish I had those opportunities. I did wish people, had that kind of reaction to me when I went through my breakup. But I'm so happy for my friend. So I processed those feelings. I recognized them, because I mean, everyone knows that feeling. Comparison is the thief of joy. And if you allow yourself to keep comparing and let the jealousy build, you're just stealing your own joy. But I always do that within comedy. Like, if my comedy friends get something, and this was more prevalent when I was younger, I would be like, oh, I'm so happy for them. But then part of me, and I would just recognize, like, no, Jolene, that, like, sure, would you want something like that? Yes, but that's not for you. I had to start telling myself, that's not for you. When it's for you, it'll be for you. But that's for your friend. You need to be happy for your friend because you don't want to be that shitty person that is just bitter and angry that it didn't work for them, but it worked for everybody else. That's just not the person I wanted to be. And it seems like Lala is still in this place where she has an entitlement to her where she feels as though she deserves, it's like hope versus expectation. Something I learned a long time ago, which really helped me, is like hope for things, be hopeful, but never expect, because that is going to lead you down a dark path and all the things, and I'm not like, I'm not a psychologist or smart in that way, but these little things that you can train your brain kind of to be like, oh no, hope versus expectation. I hope for this. But once Lala, I think she started expecting it. When you start expecting shit, that'll turn you into like a nasty, nasty person. Yes, Rachel, we can see your comments. So yeah, it's infuriating. It is infuriating. Not paid by anyone. Hi, it's nice to see you. It says, although I shared a lot of confusion with Lala, I can't stand behind this interview. Oh, are you saying you didn't enjoy this? I mean, this interview was like, she just keeps digging her hole more and more. Like, girl, just be quiet for a little bit. Like, take the L. Okay. The memories are short, but you're making it so our memories are long, and you're making it so people have to like remind you of what you said. And then those people are called bullies, and they are not in fact called bullies. If I hear Christina Coca called a bully one more time, I'm going to lose my shit. What Christina Coca is doing is not bullying. It's not like she's just like, I'm going to pull up all these things from 10 years ago and I'm going to show everybody because I'm just a shitty. No, Lala saying these things didn't happen. Christina Coca and other accounts like that, and even myself at times, are just going, well, what about this? Like, you can't rewrite history because it works for you. These things happened. You can't treat the fans like we're idiots. That's not bullying. Your words are only being played back to you because you're trying to rewrite your history. That's it. No one's bullying you. Those are your words. So if anything, using your words against you, well, then you're the bully because they're your words. If you feel bullied by your own words, that's on you, bro. That's on you. Justine King, thank you so much for the super set. Justine says, Tom Sandoval was... TS, are you talking about Tom Schwartz or Tom Sandoval? TS was right at season 10 reunion about Lala. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tom Sandoval was right about, we hate to hear that, Justine, but yeah. Tom Sandoval was right at the season 10 reunion about Lala pretending to care about Ariana. I mean, he did. Yep. She did it because she couldn't handle someone else being the center of attention. Yep. Yeah, we want accountability. Yeah, it's receipts. Quit asking for it. It's crazy. It's great. No one is bullying you. You did it. Nothing happened. You did it. It's just you're coming off like pretentious, all the things. End Up says, I'm interested to see her next choices in future relationships. It'll we'll see what Lala does.
Now we're bringing a little bit of diva-ness to my place of work that I've been doing outside of it.
Ma'am, you calling anyone a diva is laughable. It is laughable. Not affable. It's laughable.
Vanderpump Rules. That's great for all of us.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I sat here and I was just little old me. Like, I have people screaming my name on the streets. The show reached a level that it never would have reached without this. And even though it was horrible, I was not mad at the opportunity she was getting outside of the show. What I started getting upset about is now we're bringing a little bit of diva-ness to my place of work that I've been doing for 8 years. And I have a hard time when people think that they are bigger than the show.
Right.
That was you. You thought you were bigger than the show. For seasons, you would talk down to your castmates because you were banging a guy with no neck who played pickleball Randall, who was a predator, allegedly. And you were like, we got it like that. We got a PJ. You did that. You were at lunches and tables and calling people out and doing that shit. That was you. You thought you were bigger than the show. You thought you didn't have to share your life. And that continues to be you. You think you're bigger than the show. You literally thought you were going to be the voice of reason and you were going to like take over, and you didn't. This is you, ma'am. You're talking about yourself. It's crazy.
I think if they didn't show the last, at the reunion, those last 7 minutes that you guys hadn't seen,
and Christine,
do you think that everything would have been okay between you and Katie and Ariana? Because I think you had gone, Katie had maybe come to your gender reveal.
Yep.
You had gone to New York for Ariana's Broadway show.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I like really splice out the timing,
Yeah.
it doesn't fully make. It's not like at the end of the season you guys were in a bad place. Do you think if that never would have aired, we would be in a different situation?
I knew 100% that was airing.
But did you know it was airing at the reunion?
She knows everything.
No, but we get the episodes early, and when I saw they were keeping that, I was like, and maybe I'm a sicko for this. I'm like, thank God, I'm gonna get something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get an honest, pure reaction. No one gets to think. No one gets to figure out what I'm gonna say about why I said that. I knew good and goddamn well what I said in that moment. That reunion would have ended. I was biting my tongue until a producer walks in and says, La, everything you've been feeling outside of filming this show, the fourth wall that we've been talking, break it. I don't give a fuck, break it. And that's why I said, so I'm going to do it now, because a producer had stepped in and said, we all know, like, don't break the fourth wall. And we all do it. I feel like housewives, you guys are allowed to do.
Okay. Alex Baskin Robbins. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Lala said a producer stepped in. Sounds like Lala saying similar to Scheana. Do it. Break that fourth. La. Also, it's Lauren. It's not La anymore. You didn't write any hit songs. You haven't earned the La.
Fuck, break it. And that's why I said, so I'm going to do it now, because a producer had stepped in and said, we all know, like, don't break the fourth wall. And we all do it. I feel like housewives, you guys are allowed to do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Vanderpump Rules is funny. It's like, no. You guys are servers. Remember, you guys came from being servers.
Well, I think we're beyond that now. I think you guys can break the fourth wall. How did it make you feel when Short says that you breaking the fourth wall and talking about the show as a job, you were jeopardizing the show's authenticity?
Well, I didn't know he said that. Yeah. What did he say, Tam?
That you were just.
What do you say, Tam Tam? Huh? What do you say, Tam Tam? Tam? Yes, Johnny. Johnny says, OMG, I forgot she said she would never speak of season 11 again. Well, it looks like she's speaking of it right now. Amy Seeks Truth, thank you so much for the super chat. Oh my gosh. And thank you, Elaine, for the super chat. Look at your cute doggy. Lala lives in the echo chamber. She does, because they're just sitting there agreeing with her. There's no pushback. I really thought there might be a little pushback, but I forgot her and Tam Tam are best friends or something. And she kisses Tam Tam's ass, and then Tam Tam's kissing her ass. And neither of these people watch the show. Nepo Teddy and Tam Tam, they don't watch the show. You know, Nepo Teddy watched it maybe this season so she could talk about it on her podcast, but she doesn't know anything about this damn show. What? Schwartz said that? Yeah, he said that, Lala. He said that.
In the show.
By breaking the fourth wall in the reunion.
It's not authentic anymore. But I mean, news alert, Schwartz, love ya. But everybody knows this is a job. Everybody knows that you're getting paid for this.
Well, I think that's what makes it so interesting, is you're absolutely filming it's no secret this is a produced show. If you watched us
No, you said it was real recognized real. You're the realest piece of real that ever reeled, and Katie's fake and Ariana's fake, and you keeps it so real.
Single waking moment of the day, you couldn't have a show. This is months of filming, goes to a producer,
months of editing.
What you're seeing is very much real.
Yes. Power apart, we bind you, Lala, from doing harm against yourself and harm against Ariana and Vanderpump Rules. We bind you, Lala, from doing harm against yourself and harm against Ariana and Vanderpump Rules. I mean, it is ridiculous at this point.
Where it is a television show to make sure that you are entertained. Although these things happen, the goal is to entertain you. And I resent him saying that me doing that jeopardized the show. In all actuality, we are filming a television show. It was hard this season. I was talking about things that we've all spoken about. And then when a camera comes up, everyone runs scared. I have Ariana, who I personally believe really forgot why she was catapulted into opportunity. Again, so happy for you. But let's not forget where we come from.
Yeah.
None of us have anything.
How did Ariana forget it by taking the opportunities that presented themselves and then killing those opportunities and just killing it and get more opportunities? How did she forget where she came from? Because she didn't want to give into the Sandoval redemption arc. She still showed up. She still was there in the scenes because she put him in his place and yelled at him the same way Katie did. And you guys simped for him. How did she girl?
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Oh my God. It's the worst the second time listening to it.
I have Ariana, who I personally believe really forgot why she was catapulted into opportunity. Again, so happy for you. But let's not forget where we come from.
Yeah.
None of us have anything.
You tell us you remember where you come from. Because it is upper class Utah. Okay? So slow down, Tupac. Slow down, La Pac. You remember where you came from. You're the only one who forgets where they came from. No, literally nobody else does.
Out Vanderpump Rules. What we built outside of it, we should be very proud of.
Do you think, though, at the beginning,
Yeah.
she ever really was there? Like, because I'm watching the beginning of the season. I forget. Maybe you guys went for a smoothie or something. There's a lot of smoothies this season.
Yeah, a lot of smoothies. Because no one was drinking.
You know, like, it was a lot of smoothies for me. I got to be honest. But you guys had gone to like another smoothie shop, and I felt even between the two of you, but before there was even an issue, there wasn't like a natural connection. And I felt it with Scheana as well. I felt it kind of with everyone.
Filming with each other?
Yeah. But just, no, between
when we would film with Ariana.
Yes. Like, anytime anything was suggested or brought up, it wasn't like
well, maybe Nepo Teddy, if you would do the research and actually understand the show and see the relationship between Lala and Ariana and how that progressed and grew throughout the years and all the times that Ariana was actually there for Lala, you'd have a better understanding of their freaking relationship and understand why the fans feel like, holy shit, she did her friend dirty. But you don't do the homework. You do the bare minimum because you ride on the Mellencamp name and then you're on this podcast and you literally are doing the bare minimum. You want to have these like hot takes and you want to act like you're doing something, but you only know what you saw this season. You've done no research prior to that. That is, no one else could keep a job with that minimal amount of work. So just be glad your dad has talent and shush it. Shush it, lady. Shush it.
If we were going to have a true conversation about our relationships or something that had happened, or if Edwin had done something fucked up to me, and you would have...
Who cares about Edwin? No one. I didn't even remember his name until right now. You're not even on a show anymore. Nobody cares. I'm so tired of Teddy Mellencamp.
Between when we would film with Ariana.
Yes. Like, anytime anything was suggested or brought up, it wasn't like let's, if we were going to have a true conversation about our relationships or something that had happened, or if Edwin had done something fucked up to me, and you would have said like, well, then maybe Teddy, you need to get out of the house. I would have been able to reciprocate and have that conversation back.
Right.
You. It didn't feel like that. It felt like a block.
It was a block. That's why at the reunion I said I tried to convey things to you.
Because Lala did not understand about owning something with someone else and not wanting to give up your property after someone had already taken so much from you and uprooted your life and what you thought would be your future, which is what Tom Sandoval did to Ariana. Lala doesn't understand that because she didn't own anything with Randall or anybody else. She had to leave. He could have called the police and said, hello, hi, I'm on the house. She's not. Get her out. Ariana, on the other hand, that's her whole savings went into that. She didn't do BJs for PJs. She dated a broke guy who shaved his forehead and put more products on than she did. Okay? And that if that's her mistake, that's her mistake. But you were doing BJs for PJs. Ariana didn't do that. So for you to even question, which she will do, Ariana's financial state or Katie's financial state, they didn't do that. They weren't gold digging. They weren't hooking up with guys for money. They weren't saying BJs for PJs. There's lots of D's I can suck to get on a PJ. They weren't banging for Gucci slides and Range Rovers. They literally were dating men who drove Hondas. And now they got, like Ariana says, a little bit of money, a little bit of notoriety. God.
And I was always shut down. I couldn't, it was a constant like, well, yeah, maybe.
So do you think she's solely doing the show still for the money?
She said that at the reunion. She did say, you know, I wasn't financially prepared to not come back to the show this season. And great.
Hasn't she gotten millions of dollars in endorsement deals?
And that was the
Tam, because she got a couple of endorsement deals. You guys think she should move out of her own house, leaving it there with Tom Sandoval, possibly losing out on her huge investment? Who knows what could have happened? So you think she should just go waste her money living in like an Airbnb or an apartment? You should be saying this about Sandoval. Just Sandoval. Sandoval should have left. He's the one that fucked everything up. He should leave. He should leave. He's the one that was banging the friend in their home. He should leave. But yet they want to go, Ariana should have left. So she has to lose more. She has to lose more stuff because of this man. Do you hear how you sound, women? Like these are fellow women. And you're putting it all on Ariana when you should be going at Sandoval. You should have come together as a group and been like, you need to leave. Similar to what Kristen Doty had to do in the beginning when she was kind of the liaison between the two. And she said she finally had to tell Sandoval, like, you need to get out. You need to give Ariana some space. Like, you're not leaving. You're lingering too much. But you women quickly want to go, oh my God, she got so many endorsements. Sounds like Tam Tam's a little jelly too, Tam Tam. Don't you got enough with all your podcasts and talking traders and all that stuff? Tam Tam, please stop. I want to enjoy you on this next season of Orange County, but you sound redunculous.
Other thing that was not it was shown, but I was asking those questions, like, why not just get an apartment for your mental health? I can't imagine going home to a house that I share with my ex who did something like really traumatic to me.
No, because you never owned a house until now. Thanks to Sandoval and Ariana mainly. So, of course you can't relate to that. You don't know about that life of saving up your money, your money, not BJ's for PJ's money, not pickleball money, your money. Oh my goodness.
And she said she couldn't afford it.
Well, girl, come on.
But those are the questions that I had that I was.
Great point. Cammy Tam says, why does everyone, like they were like, hello, I am Mr. Duracell. Here is $1 billion. Thank you for your service. That's not how it works. We all know. And you don't know how much she made. And you don't know, she was very transparent that her financial situation before is she was struggling. She put all the money into the house and she didn't have a lot of extra. She wasn't prepared for this to go down like that and to have to leave her home. I mean, it's ridiculous what they expect of Ariana. They expect of the woman, but they don't expect it of the guy. Just gross.
Looked at. This is why I said, Tam, I've never in my life seen someone get cheated on and suddenly it was shown, but I was asking those questions, like, why not just get an apartment for your mental health? I can't imagine going home to a house that I share with my ex who did something like really traumatic to me. And she said she couldn't afford it. Well,
girl, come on.
But those are the questions that I had that I was looked at. This is why I said, Tam, I've never in my life seen someone get cheated on and suddenly they become God. Her word was Bible. Nothing was questioned. I can't afford it. Oh, okay. That makes total sense. No, I have questions. You have been all over the map. And I know what I make outside of this show. And I have to assume you're making the same, if not way more. So how can you not afford an apartment? But no one would ask the questions. And that's why I was like, it was like she was God. Like, what I say is Bible.
He should have got the fuck out.
In all honesty, they both should have got the fuck out. Just get out.
They don't have kids.
Teddy, shut up, Teddy. Shut up, Nepo baby Teddy. When did you ever have to worry about $1? When did you ever have to save your hard-earned money? When you have daddy to fall back on and give you opportunities, Teddy. You're only here because your dad can play music. Like, be quiet, Teddy. Who wants to hear this woman's opinion? Really? Like, a little self-awareness. Speak on those things. Speak on the privileged life. Speak on the Nepo baby life. Don't speak for people that have to, create something for themselves, because you didn't have to do that. You're still using Mellencamp. We know why. What's his face? What's your husband's last name? I don't know. Please be quiet. Please sit several seats, Teddy. Mellencamp. What's Edwin's last name? Edwin? I don't know. Edwin. I have no idea what his last name is.
Together, go.
Well, they own a house together, so that's a commitment right there. But he should have got the fuck out.
But Tam, I understand that. But everyone's like, he should have left. Well, he ain't. He was fucking your friend in the house. So what can you control?
I personally would have gotten out, but I feel like it was a power struggle between the two of them. I'm not leaving. Well, I'm not leaving. And the house is big enough that I don't have to see you.
And I think that's what filming became too. I'm not going to this. I'm going to this event. But something that a lot of people have commented on.
I just don't even want to listen to Teddy. She's so thirsty and she wants to be back on Housewives so bad. She was like, I would have loved to film. You know that Teddy's just sitting there like, I would have filmed anything. I would have filmed with the person who murdered my dog. I would just film. She got to film. It's like, oh my God, please be quiet.
Your Amazon Live creates a lot of.
I love Amazon.
I know.
It's really hard though, because I feel like those are my people. And I can say what I feel like I'm in this safe room.
You forget that then it's sent to us.
Okay. Another ad.
Shades and powder. Days ago.
But no, so let me explain to you.
Okay, so now they're going to talk about when Jessica was looking at Katie's stories and Katie called her out because Lala tried to pretend on her Amazon Live that she didn't know that something about her opened. We all knew something about her opened. I mean, people that don't watch the show knew about something about her. And Lala's like, oh my God, good for them. It's like, ma'am, does that make you cooler because you didn't know, because you're pretending you didn't know that something about her opened? Do you get a prize for that? Why? You're just asking to be roasted up on that one. That's so dumb.
I knew they were having like 500 soft openings.
Right.
So when I said I didn't know they were open, I didn't know that they were open any given weekday. Come have a sandwich. I'm sure that it was something that people were very excited about. This has been in the works since season 9 finale, right? Is when they came up with the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that they were actually open
Connie,
for business.
nothing.
I knew they were doing soft, like a soft opening.
Yeah, gotcha.
That makes me so happy. I'm like, you saying that she saw that Jess thought, I'm like,
Jess, do you have a blue check mark?
Even,
so that means you're not even at the top.
No.
She would have had to go
so
through
do you
that
follow
shit.
each other?
Yeah, I think
So then maybe you're at the top. Either way, I'm like, even with the sandwich shop, you're still scrolling through Reddit. Who's viewing your stories? Like, girl, you got so much time on your hands.
How close do you think Ariana?
Yeah, that's a great point, 13 Geek. You don't stay wealthy by throwing your money away. And Ariana understood that. And she didn't want to have to. Why should Ariana, who didn't do anything to Tom Sandoval to create the situation, he created it. Why should she have to downgrade? She wanted to be a homeowner. She really put a lot of money and time, and she wanted to build that equity. And that's the route she wanted to go. Why should she have to, go back down in her eyes? I mean, nothing wrong with renting, but she wanted to be a homeowner. So why should she let him take that away from her too? So she was saving her money, living in that room upstairs. He should have left. And then she ultimately bought a home, and a home that is beautiful and actually in the hills, unlike these valley people, So she was doing what she found to be the most financially responsible thing to do for herself. And it's like, exactly, Chickenhead. Thank you, Chickenhead, for the super chats. It's such a bitter Betty. Like, they're so bitter and they're so mean and they're so angry. You're so angry. Yes, Chickenhead says that she and Nepo Baby, I can't stand her, right? It's just like, girl, just know your role. Don't speak on anyone's financials, Teddy, when you have a silver spoon in your mouth from the beginning. Do not speak on another woman who's got to pick up the pieces after a dude has dogged her out and done something horrible to her. And she's got to pick up the pieces and move on and get her shit together financially all by herself, something she didn't plan for because she was in it for the long run, according to her. So don't then come in and say, oh, she should do this. She do something without your dad, and then we'll talk. Okay, Ted?
And Katie actually are.
She's horrible.
Because there are show friends and there are real friends. And I saw them maybe that they were potentially trauma bonded at one point.
Yes,
trauma
Kylie
bonds
agreed.
run deep. Yeah. I've had trauma bonds before and they are thick, but neither of you better get over the trauma. Because once you start healing, bond is over.
Right.
Yeah, well, you said at the reunion, you had mentioned something that happened off camera, that Katie had confided in you and talked about how she was kind of upset with Ariana. And I have a feeling that was the first time Ariana had ever heard that. But they both acted like a united front.
She did.
It's
Alex.
okay. I don't care.
Yeah.
Which I found kind of odd.
But I felt like that was kind of, go back to us season 10, me and Ariana having a conversation at Christina Kelly's party where I'm telling her that her boyfriend lied to her. And she tried to remain very stone cold. We talk about everything. I'm not bothered.
Right.
And if that's who you are, that's great. But it's extremely difficult to film a reality television show with someone who talks that way. And she was actually...
What if she just actually believed Tom Sandoval? What if she really believed that he wouldn't do that to her? Just because she doesn't react like you react? Maybe you were more suspicious or more prone to because you've been the other woman in multiple situations. Because let's be honest, Lala was the other woman with Randall, and Lala also was the other woman in James and Raquel. Okay? I mean, and that wasn't that long ago, but we just, found out about it. So maybe you're more apt to, look for that. But I'm just like, what is happening? What is going on?
Shut down season 10 for producers to talk to her.
So she might not respond the way you would respond and make it all dramatic and because last time you were at Christina Kelly's house over a relationship troubles, that's when you told us there are other dicks you can suck for a PJ. That's what you told us. And that Randall had taken your Gucci slides. So maybe Ariana, she might not react like that. That's how you react. That's not how everyone's not going to react the same as you. Thank you, Amalesh. Said heading to the hospital for work. Jolene, could you please do an impression of Sandoval purchasing a cameo from Rachel? Oh my gosh, Sandoval is gonna. That would be very interesting if he did. Samantha Stevens, thank you for the super chat. Lala makes too many life decisions based on money and fame. She really does. Well, Sandoval will be like, "Hey, Raquel, it's me, Tom. God, you're such a bitch. Getting help from your therapy. Can you send me a cameo? That's saying that I'm like a good guy. Okay, and I like was there for you with your therapy. Yeah, and how I would shave my forehead. I miss your vagina. Why? You know, I don't know what he would request, but he would probably request something like that. You know, excuse me. HC says Tamara hid her marital issues during her first marriage. She doesn't have a leg. Yes, and sometimes you don't want everyone in the world. You don't know quite what's happening yet. And she was with Simon, and they were having, and you were, you know, she was hiding a lot of that. So come on. Rachel, Raquel, Rocky, come back to my wiener. Love, Tom. I am.
If that's who you are, that's great. But it's extremely difficult to film a reality television show with someone who talks that way. And she was actually, cameras shut down season 10 for producers to talk to Ariana. Like, you gotta give something.
Right.
You gotta like care a little bit.
Wait a minute. Alex Baskin Robbins said that didn't happen. Alex Baskin Robbins, are you going to reply to this? Did camera shut down mid-season to tell Ariana she has to give something? Because I feel like she was giving quite a bit. Both seasons were about the downfall and the breakup of her relationship and her home and what she thought to be her family. But what more did you want her to give? Literally, she was about to let him sperminate her eggers. That is the clinical terminology for it. How much does she have to give? She was given her eggies, her ovaries, her home, her love, her life. What more do you want from her? Jeez Louise.
And it's if you're the type of person where you're like, I just don't care. Excellent. First of all, very jealous. I wish I could just not care. Second of all, I don't know that this is the space for you.
Right.
Reality TV. I mean, I've watched Housewives. We all give a lot of shits.
Anybody that says they don't give shits is full of shit. But I think also where we've seen some things is you said, I forget what season it was, but you said something along the lines of give Tom Sandoval 10 years and then he will turn into your ex.
Yeah, I believe he will continue to creep around, and I hope he doesn't have children.
That's so interesting. So you believe, Lala, that Sandoval will continue to creep around and he'll ruin a family dynamic if he has children and he'll hurt more women, but you were willing to sell your soul and take up for him and help him out this season and call out someone that basically a victim of his, because you believe Randall left behind a bunch of victims. You think you are one of them. That means that you are advocating for Tom Sandoval to have more victims. That's, essentially you're complicit with another predator out there as long as you're making $1. And that's exactly what you did with Randall. And now you're doing it with Tom Sandoval. I mean, do you listen to what you're saying? Do you listen to this? Because you were like, oh God, it's not that bad. He didn't murder anyone. But you're now saying just as bad as Randall, predator, all the things. Huh? My goodness.
I don't know that this is the space for you. Right. Reality TV. I mean, I've watched Housewives. We all give a lot of shits.
Anybody that says they don't give shits is full of shit. But I think also where we've seen some things is you said, I forget what season it was, but you said something along the lines of give Tom Sandoval 10 years and then he will turn into your ex.
Yeah, I believe he will continue to creep around, and I hope he doesn't have children because I think they're going to suffer. Anytime someone has kids and they're cheaters, ultimately the child suffers, right? They got to be bounced back and forth. We get to move on with our lives while they don't ever have anything in the same space. So when I said that, I was only talking about the cheating aspect of who he is. When someone can look you in your eyes the way that Tom did and say all these crazy things knowing he's sleeping with the best friend, to me, that is really, really scary. And I do feel, and I could be wrong, I'm no doctor. I'm only coming from my own experience, and I am not fully...
What? She's not a doctor, you guys. I thought she was a doctor. Yes, Anna says she never was going to leave Rand if that LA Times article didn't come out. No, she wasn't going to leave him. Give me a break. She was not going to leave him. And Love Pink makes a great point. Randall didn't murder anybody either. But we need to hate him for Lala. Oh my goodness. Linda D, thank you so much for the super sticker.
healed from my own experience. Let's make sure everyone knows that.
So when you say that Tom Sandoval, just from like the cheating aspect, is that true for Rand too? He's not really like this. He's just because he's such a cheater. I'm just confused by this woman. I think she's confused too.
I just feel like he seems to be someone who likes to love bomb. He gets his claws in and he just likes women. And when he's a little bored and you don't want to do mushrooms with him anymore, he bops on to the next.
Right.
I still stand by those things.
Yeah. Let's clear something up.
Okay, but how could you stand by those things and then continue to throw Ariana under the bus and cape for him? I don't understand how you can still stand by those things and act how you're acting and blame Ariana and say that Ariana has a bigger ego than him and she's ruining the show and all these things. I don't understand how you can still stand by those things and not notice how you are an utter and complete hypocrite. Why no one is going to understand why you went so anti-Ariana right as she was going through something very painful and something very serious for all the world to watch. And you were like, no, I'm going to sell out. It doesn't matter because they might cancel our show. So what do I got to do? I got to flip over to Sandoval? Okay, cool. I'll do it. I'll do anything. And you were supposed to be her friend. We really thought you were Ariana's friend. I did. I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I really thought you were her friend.
Do you feel used by production at all this season? And is there any truth to what Scheana is saying about production telling you guys what to do and say?
And I love her tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
I am a lone wolf. I don't share opinions with people. If I agree with you, that doesn't mean that.
Then why were you a little crybaby at the reunion then? When Scheana wasn't completely fawning over you and when she was, having having empathy or trying to, I don't know if it would be empathy, but when she was talking about Ariana and those situations and you got up and you're like, I'm the only one. This is just such bullshit. If you're such a lone wolf, then you stand in that shit and you don't care. Then you expect that no one's going to have your back and no one's going to think the same thing. But the problem is you're not a lone wolf. You were doing what you thought producers wanted you to do. And then in the end, they all threw you under the bus, even Lisa Vanderpump, by saying Ariana showed up this season. And that made you mad. If you were a lone wolf and that wasn't you just doing their bidding, you wouldn't have given a shit and you wouldn't have got up and wanted to walk away and go, I'm so sick of it. People say one thing and do another thing. If you were a lone wolf, like you're saying, you basically are saying, I don't have the same opinion as other people. It's just me. I'm out there. But you're not. You're not. You need a team behind you. You're not strong enough to stand on your own. And that's okay. A lot of people aren't. A lot of people don't want to. But you're literally like saying, I am. Yeah, she's my friend, but I stand on my own. I'm a lone ass wolf. I'm used to people not agreeing with me. Obviously not. Because you are losing your shit and continue to dig your own reality TV grave. Because you have to stand alone in this. Because again, what do you think was going to happen, babe? Really? Did you think that Alex Baskin-Robbins and Jeremiah and Lisa Vanderpump, the producers of the show, were really going to make themselves? No, they're having you take the bullet. They're having you do the dirty work. They don't want to come off as unlikable. They don't want people coming after them. They're going to use you, and then they're not going to have your back.
And say all these crazy things knowing he's sleeping with the best friend. To me, that is really, really scary. And I do feel, and I could be wrong, I'm no doctor. I'm only coming from my own experience.
She's not a doctor.
From my own experience. Let's make sure everyone knows that. I just feel like he seems to be someone who likes to love bomb. He gets his claws in and he just likes women. And when he's a little bored and you don't want to do mushrooms with him anymore, he bops on to the next.
Right.
I still stand by those things.
Yeah. Let's clear something up. Do you feel used by production at all this season? And is there any truth to what Scheana is saying about production telling you guys what to do and say?
Sheesh is my friend, a dear friend of mine. And I love her tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
I am a lone wolf. I don't share opinions with people. If I agree with you, that doesn't mean that I'm blindly loyal. It just means I agree with something you said. I have never been a puppet to production. I in no way, shape, or form felt that production was trying to get me to lean one way or the other.
Was there a meeting? Was there a meeting mid-season for you guys to talk?
There was
a little pep talk.
There was a meeting mid-season. What I gathered from that meeting was not what Scheana gathered.
What did Scheana gather?
Well, from what it sounds like, it was like was the show in jeopardy? Yes. And not because of anybody else except Tom Sandoval. You wrecked the group. The show's based on the group, okay?
Yeah.
And maybe we did need a little bit more downtime to process. I think that maybe would have been a smart move.
But if they started picking up filming next week, do you really think there's going to be any difference between Ariana and Tom than there was this past season?
I personally do not think so. No,
Yeah, I don't. We
I
could
don't.
give it 3 years.
What are you saying? You're like, Scheana said this. Scheana said that she was encouraged to, you know, by production to kind of flip over that way to Tom, and the show's going to get canceled. But you're saying, oh, no. So you're even willing to Lala is very desperate for this paycheck. Even Scheana, she's like, no, Scheana got it wrong too. But it sounds like you're essentially saying exactly what Scheana was saying, is that, and you have said that the show was going to be over and something had to be done. So you guys had to step up. Good God. What's happening with her brain? How does she think this makes sense and doesn't make her look worse? And how does she think it's any different from Scheana? It's interesting. Justine King, thank you for the super chat. Faith recounted a story of Lala cheating on Randall with an NFL player, but we're supposed to believe she was completely shocked and hurt that Randall cheated. Yes, you should believe that because she's not a doctor. Okay? She's not a doctor. She's not a doctor, right? Thank you, Pamela B. Make it make sense, Tilly. And Linda D, thanks again for the super chat. Oh my goodness.
Like,
right. It's like,
Yeah, but do you think they're going to bring them both back?
I don't know. I have no idea. At this point in time, I think we're all sitting here.
Are you scared?
Am I scared?
Of course she's
future of the show?
scared. Of course.
I mean,
She's bought a
truthfully,
house.
I feel a little bit relieved. Like, I want a break. I cried every day out of frustration. I usually look forward to going and filming that show. I dreaded every second. Every time they said, hey, you got a day off tomorrow, I cried tears of joy because I was so happy I did not have to engage. I've never felt that way before.
I can understand that. I can totally understand that.
And what about the rumors about the Valley that you and Scheana potentially wanted to be on that show, but that Jack said he wouldn't want that? Because,
Jax is he's such a square. Can I just say that? I'm like, you're a buffoon over here. Like, and nothing that comes out of his mouth. Like, people are like, Jack said this. And I'm like, and? Yeah, of course. And he'll be calling me tomorrow asking me for advice. And I'll pick up the phone. And I'll preface it by saying, I don't like you that much.
So are you still talking to Brittany?
Am I?
Yeah.
We're taking a breather from each other.
That's another way in which she is a very pro-problematic man. And so Brittany is on the bench. But Jax can talk all this shit, say he doesn't want her on the Valley, she'll ruin it. Have Brittany reaching out to her over this like stupid babysitter versus nanny thing. But she's still like, oh my God, this is Jax. He's a buffoon, but he's like, we're still going to talk, we're still going to be friends. So the standards that she holds the women to are very different than the standards she holds the men to, which is essentially the same thing she's doing with Ariana. Yep, exactly, Adele. Lala, always siding with the guys. She's a guys girl over here. Goodness.
Lala, who are you talking to?
I know, and I have made this very clear. Like, I've always said, when there's someone who is not talking to a lot of people, you usually have to look in the mirror and say, is it me? It's definitely me. I'm changing. I'm wanting different things. I want to get things that make me feel yucky away. And it could be because I'm pregnant and hypersensitive and emotional.
Yeah.
And it could if
don't cry.
I yucky away. And it could be because I'm pregnant and hypersensitive and emotional.
Yeah.
And it could just be that I am in a different space in my life.
Don't cry.
I'll give you a second. I think.
Thanks, Teddy. I'll give you a second. Teddy, give you a second. I'll give you a second. So now Lala, she's like, yes, I understand I'm the problem. I'm not talking to a lot of people. And usually the common denominator, if you're fighting with all these people, is you. If you can't get along with a lot of people, you're usually the common denominator. Okay. So she'll admit to that, but it's only because she's so evolved and she wants the icky. So again, she'll have this like fake self-awareness. She'll feign self-awareness, but then go, oh, but it's just because these people aren't as evolved as me. And I'm moving on to a different universe, a different planet. Okay. I'm getting my L. Ron Hubbard going. I don't know what she's doing. Christina, thank you for the super chat. Christina says, I need and Lala, you need your fix. Yeah. And Lala had sex with my boyfriend, Rachel Raquel Rocky, James when we were together. And Lala, so if you want a cameo where me, Rocky Levis, will tell you about Lala and what a mistress bimbo she is and all that energy, I'll do it with my galaxy lights on. For Lala, thank you, Noto37. Noto. Thank you so much. Camping Treats, thanks for the laughs. That is so sweet of you. Thank you so very much.
Something that I see in Lala that makes you such excellent television and all of these things is Lala is able to show this really tough exterior. And her voice kind of changes and she's got a big vibrato. But I think you are like, now you're going to make me freaking cry. I think you are a softie.
Well, I am. And I think that.
No shit. No. What? You mean you don't think she's this hard ass inner Tupac, she says? What? God, Teddy, you're a genius.
Why I go like this is because I did that even as a child. It's like, I know what it feels like to be hurt. We all have, right? That's why we all deal with certain things that we're triggered by in a different way. Some people isolate and retreat. I get big. My voice changes. And it's like, I'm feeling under attack. I'm feeling vulnerable. And you are not going to get past a certain point with me because I will not let you take me out in this moment. Yeah. And I think that's why I have such a strong relationship, with my mom, with my brother, because those are the people who I just feel the most safe with at all times.
Listen, you've been on the show long enough that this is going to pass.
Yeah.
It's going to pass and you're going to be okay. And
This too shall pass. It'll be okay. If you stop talking shit about people who aren't talking shit about you, things will get better. It gets better. You're creating this for yourself. I love how they're acting like she's some kind of victim. She's doing it to herself. The call is coming from inside the house, lady. What don't you understand?
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
You're literally going live, doing podcasts, doing your own podcast, going on social media, talking shit about people who aren't even talking shit about you, and then attacking fans of the show, and then saying you're the victim. I'm the victim. Yeah, she's a lone wolf, a deli, who needs her pack. Make it make sense, player hater. I mean, for real, she's like, I'm such a lone wolf. I don't need nobody. I gets to clapping. Okay, Lala. Alex G says, sorry, Lala. A lot of us still have rabies over here. So sorry.
I'll say, if it wasn't for you this season, I don't think there would be a show worth watching.
Tam, stop it. Stop it, Tam. There would be a show. There would be a show without Lala. She didn't bring nothing to the show other than ridiculousness that was infuriating. Other than caping. Are you leaving, producer Tilly? I'll miss you. Other than problematic male sympathizer energy. I don't. She attacked her friend after she made money off her friend's trauma. I don't know what. I would have enjoyed not having to watch that. I mean, come on, lady.
And I appreciate you saying that.
I just want to give you a big hug.
So she cries so that they'll go, oh, but you brought so much to the show. Show me. Name them. Name what she brought to the show. I'm going to need some receipts. I'm going to need you to name exactly, because I think what she brought. Exactly what she brought.
You're lying. No, I'm not lying.
We feel like you're lying.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
Please, just tell us and then name them. Name what you brought specifically and pacifically.
Name them.
Name them. Well, what you did was ridiculous.
Name them.
Not having. Well, be quiet. So let me talk, Jesus.
Name them.
Name them, because right now you just look bitter, jealous, and mad, and your ego is. You gotta check that ego, girl.
Bling, bling, bling. Bitches is mad.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
It's a Virgo thing. Our birthdays are, you that don't know, our birthdays on the same day.
Thank you, chicken head.
And September 2nd girls, they come in and they sometimes
they come in hot. They come in hot, but I can tell you, Tam always apologizes after.
Sometimes those viewers will ask for you to be fired, and they did that to me, and I got fired, and look what happened. Then suddenly they change their mind, and they're like, "Oh no, I want her back. I want her back." Suddenly the show is boring. You do the tough job. You ask the tough questions. That's a tough place to be.
It is.
Tam, Tam, how many episodes did you watch? How many seasons? Because that is in fact not true. Thank you.
And you've been on the show long enough that you know you're going to get shit.
Yeah, I do. I've known that. It's just wild to me that a season, like, I know that this was not a high note for me season wise with the audience, but it was a personal high note because I was able to, for the first time, hear people, see multiple sides, practice compassion while also, question things that didn't make sense. I really.
Oh, she really believes she did that. I was practicing compassion. You were practicing hateration, and we don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Is that the words? We don't need no hateration. We don't need it. No, thank you.
Sunk into the fact that this is my reality, and I know people are probably sick of me talking about what I experienced with my ex, but it was heavily traumatic.
Okay.
And I worked through it.
Get over it. Move out. Get over it. You should talk to him. You should film with him. Just get over it already. You're on a show. Come on. He was on the show. These are the same things like you're saying to Ariana, we're saying to you. You made us take Randall on the show. You made him a character. So have him back. Then you should deal with him. Talk to him.
As much as I can each day. And finally this season, I was able to sink into like this could last a long time. Wow. Like, are we going to put having a baby on pause until like it's over?
Is she talking to herself in the, this is part of the problem. She talks to herself like this. Ivy, yes. Oh my God. First Joe blaming ADHD. Now Lala's blaming being a Virgo. Justice for Virgos. Stop making me look bad, right? I love many a Virgo. So I don't see how this is any Virgo energy.
Really traumatic. And I work through it as much as I can each day. And finally this season, I was able to sink into like this could last a long time. Wow. Like, are we going to put having a baby on pause until like it's over? Because it may never be over.
Yeah, I know.
You know, Tam.
I know.
So,
well, we saw a soft side to you when you
Yes,
said,
and,
both you and Scheana said Tom's suicidal thoughts weighed really heavy on you. And despite what he did, and we had a conversation at Watch What Happens Live shortly after the reunion when we were both on. And I said to you, I said, listen, you guys went on hard on Ariana and Tom, but they are human beings.
I remember, yeah.
They are human beings.
Shades and patterns.
Is Ariana a human being? Is her mental health important? Because far before Tom Sandoval weaponized his, Ariana was very vulnerable and open about her mental health struggle seasons before this. But okay, cool. Oops. Oh my God. Even my phone is like, no, we're done. We don't like this. This isn't fun.
What I've seen of him, I can't say I'm in alignment with him. I don't see us ever being friends. But and I know it sounds selfish, but when someone says to me, someone is talking about suicide, I immediately think, okay, well, if I continue to go in on this person, and let's just say they're not full of shit and they do take their life, it's on me. Yeah. But if he is bullshitting and he knows it, you have to sleep with yourself at night. Yeah.
So basically what she's saying, like, she didn't care if he was going to hurt himself. She just was like, don't put that on me. Okay.
Yeah,
Me.
that's a good point.
And that's what I really wanted to get across this season, because there have been so many incredible women who have reached out to me, nice women.
What? Nice women? Nice. So all of us who don't agree with what you've done on the show and don't like it, we're just mean. We're so mean. Oh my God.
Talk about their trauma and things like that. And this season was really about me. I'm giving you this conversation because
that's kind of what we hear over and over. Me. La la. It's about me. Me. I was going to be the star, and then people didn't like me. Me.
From something.
Well, speaking of, we noticed a way that LVP supported Ariana this season. However, we didn't really see that from her when it came to your divorce, your custody battle, even you deciding to have another baby.
Hi, Data.
Do you take that personally, or?
I have been an underdog since the time I entered preschool.
And I get this shit all the time. She grew up with money. Her parents did well. Their parents were married. But that is the shit but I want you to speak to it. Like, you can grow up with a functioning family, and it doesn't mean that you're not an underdog, but that is what people are putting out.
Okay, I'm acknowledging the fact that I am a privileged person.
Yes,
when I say I'm the underdog, not many things that I go out and do are celebrated to the level that, let's say, other people on my cast have been celebrated.
Huh?
There are things that I feel like it is insane. And, I'm okay with it. I don't.
How does that prove that you've been an underdog since you were little? What is she talking about? Because she didn't get the same positive who? Just Ariana? Or who else? What is she saying? Do you think maybe in any way your actions could have attributed to this? the way you acted with Randall and how you thought your shit didn't stink and you were so great because you had BJs for PJs and you talked down to people. And you also talked down to his wife while he was married and on social media and dragged her. And it was really uncomfortable and gross because they had kids. And now it's great to see that you guys are getting along. That's fantastic. But do you ever just sit back and think, maybe it was something I did? Maybe it was my actions. I don't understand where this underdog comes from. It sounds more like just jealous. You're just jealous of the reaction that other people on your cast, which you haven't named any except for Ariana, have gotten. Could it be that maybe people just don't really enjoy you? Or maybe you're expecting a certain reaction you're not getting, and therefore you're just setting yourself up to be upset and hurt. So maybe you should just stop expecting, and just accept that maybe you do get enough. Or maybe it is never enough for you. Oh, this is like, we need a therapist in here.
Need to be the person that's celebrated. But while you're level,
It doesn't mean that you're not an underdog, but that is what people are putting.
okay.
Teddy's projecting. That's just because your dad has money and he's like a Grammy award-winning and huge winging singer, John Cougar Mellencamp, now John Mellencamp, who was with Meg Ryan for years. Just because your dad and that name gets you in the door of places and what you don't need to have any experience. And at 19, you could work for CAA. And anyways, just because that doesn't mean you didn't struggle, right? Teddy, this isn't about you, Teddy.
I'm acknowledging the fact that I am a privileged person. When I say I'm the underdog, not many things that I go out and do are celebrated to the level that, let's say, other people on my cast have been celebrated. There are things that I feel like it is insane. And, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't need to be the person that's celebrated. But while you're celebrating this and that person, please don't try to bring me down in the process. Like, celebrate them and leave me the fuck out of it.
Ma'am, you won't shut up. We wanted to celebrate. We wanted all the women to be able to celebrate all the women. You're the one that started attacking them. What are you talking about? We don't care. What? What did she even say?
So many things that would take most women out. It would take them out to their very fucking core. And I still sat.
Oh no. You guys, there's a hero. If you look inside your soul, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. She's a hero. And then a hero comes along named La with the strength to carry on because she's the only single mom and she is so freaking tough. So she's like, most people would buckle under. Huh? No, ma'am. No. You live in multi-million-dollar homes. You have multi-million-dollar homes. This lady's acting like she is like, I'm just trying to support my kid. You talk about having $10,000 purses. Like, you are so tone deaf. Oh my gosh.
Other people on my cast have been celebrated. There are things that I feel like it is insane. And, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't need to be the person that's celebrated. But while you're celebrating this and that person, please don't try to bring me down in the process. Like, celebrate them and leave me the fuck out of it. There are so many things that would take most women out. It would take them out to their very fucking core.
Like what? Finding out the gold digger that cheats is in fact a gold digger who will cheat on you. Remember when Lala got cheated on by Randall and she was at the Zoom, or she was zoomed in to the reunion? She goes, I didn't think he'd do it to me. Girl, they do it to everybody. It's funny. Those cheaters, they don't discriminate. They just love new vagina. If there's a new vagina, they're like, oh, I'll check that out. So if he cheated with you, he'll probably cheat on you in that sense. So for you to go, I didn't think he would do that to me. Huh? She's a hard-working woman. I mean, who are you to say what we would buck most women? What? Again, you say, don't bring me into it. Don't bring us into it. You don't know what we can handle. You don't know what we can handle. You are very privileged, ma'am. From a very young age, you moved to LA and you got on a hit television show. And you've been handed things ever since. Whether it is by your no-neck pickleball man, Predator Randall, allegedly, or the show. You got, huh?
That, let's say, other people on my cast have been celebrated. There are things that I feel like it is insane. And, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't need to be the person that's celebrated. But while you're celebrating this and that person, please don't try to bring me down in the process. Like, celebrate them and leave me the fuck out of it. There are so many things that would take most women out. It would take them out to their very fucking core. And I still sacked up, ovaried up, supported my child by myself. I went out, I tried to make a difference as well, going and speaking.
Just the fact that like how do you know? Is there scientific proof of this? Did you do an experiment? Most women, it would take them out at their core. If they were a gold digger and then it turns out the gold digging wasn't going to work. Oh my God. None of us could handle this. And then we'd have to go on a reality show and be paid a ridiculous amount of money to start fights with people. Most people would just not be able to handle having a huge house in Palm Springs and also the Valley. The privilege of being on a television show. She acts like she is like a war veteran. Like she went into a burning building and she's a firefighter and she saved lives. Like she's a nurse, teacher. She acts like she is one of these like heroic things. Like she's freaking Batgirl over here. I sacked up. Ovaried up. To do what? Oh my gosh. I still got my lip injections. I still got my hair extensions. I still got my expensive purses. I still was able to talk shit on television and throw my friends under the bus for $1. I gets to clapping. Lala, you need to volunteer. You need acts of service in your life. ASAP, PIMP. You're going to say you went to Congress. That's all fine and dandy, Randy. Good. God bless. Help women that aren't as privileged as you, who are dealing with messy custody battles and stuff and, finding out just how unjudicial the justice system is. Help them. Go volunteer. Do anything other than this. This whole pity parade while you sit there able to make your money on TV and on, Amazon Lives. Come on. Most people would love to be able to do that. Would love that. You need perspective. You need to be, I thought you got humbled when you were calling everyone rabies and then people were not listening to your podcast and, calling you out. But it seems like you have not been humbled enough because you're still out there like you're some kind of victim. There are people who are legit dealing with things that are a million times harder than this. This might be hard for you and you can say that 100%, but then to throw most women in, like we couldn't handle it. Believe me, we could. We could. And we've handled worse and we'll handle worse because we don't have the privilege you have. And there are a lot of single moms out there that have it far, far worse and have to do so much more with like not even a fraction of what you have and the resources you have. So shut up. You sound ridiculous. This is why people find you insufferable too. And this is how you make it impossible to root for you or cheer for you, which people wanted to do. No one wanted to hate on you. I certainly didn't. I wanted to root for you, girl. I wanted to root for all the women. I didn't want to hate on you. But it's not even like hating on you at this point. It's just like you need to be called out. You're ridiculous. You are ridiculous. You want to pick a struggle that's not yours. Lots of women have things they really, really freaking deal with. Please stop. This might be big to you. Okay, cool. But don't say most women. Please stop. You're turning very Bethany Frankel. Someone in the chat said that. Yes. Lala wants to be the supreme victim, but Bethany Frankel already took that spot. And then Bethany Frankel she used to be one of my favorite housewives. So as soon as she started with whatever she's doing on her, I'm like, no, go volunteer. Honestly, go volunteer. Acts of service. Do that. Maybe look back at, I know you like 12 steps. Congrats. Love it. As a sober lady myself, maybe just go back a couple steps. Get some acts of service, help some people, really put yourself out there. It's too much ego. It's very dangerous. Too much ego. Too much.
Capitol Hill on behalf of animals and their rights and not testing on them. There are things that I have done in my life that are looked at as nothing. And it's wild to me.
No one is saying that. Maybe you're not getting the praise, but when you really do like philanthropic things or when you really do things for the greater good, you don't need the attaboys or attagirls. You do it because you want to exact change. You do it because you're like passionate about it and you give a shit and you have a platform, like Casey's saying, you have an incredible platform to promote advocacy. So use that, but you might not get all the praise in the world. But if you're doing it for that, then you're doing it for shitty reasons. Do it because you can. Do it because you want to help. Do it because you care. Don't do it so that people will think you're great and praise you. It's gross, girl.
That you want to bring
It's
me
so
down
gross.
and talk about, yes, I came from a family that my parents were still together. I saw some pretty fucking gnarly fights. I saw some pretty scary things.
Her parents sometimes fought. Poor Lala. Sometimes her parents got in fights. Oh my God. No one can relate to that. But they stayed married.
Nothing. And it's wild to me that you want to bring me down and talk about, yes, I came from a family that my parents were still together. I saw some pretty fucking gnarly fights. I saw some pretty scary things when the recession hit, where we could have lost everything. And thank God my mama saved up. Thank God I was working.
Did you hear what she just said? She said, when the recession hit, we could have lost everything. We didn't. My mama had a savings account. So then that's not your struggle, because there were people who lost everything and they lost their homes and the housing crisis. Like, what? But we didn't. But we could have. It's kind of like I could have been there on 9/11. I wasn't. I was in River Falls, Wisconsin. But I could have been, because I wanted to visit New York one time. And it could have been that day. It wasn't. It was everybody else. But it could have been me. This should tell you everything you need to know about this girl right here.
At Capitol Hill on behalf of animals and their rights and not testing on them. There are things that I have done in my life that are looked at as nothing. And it's wild to me that you want to bring me down and talk about, yes, I came from a family that my parents were still together. I saw some pretty fucking gnarly fights. I saw some pretty scary things when the recession hit, where we could have lost everything. And thank God my mama saved up. Thank God I was working since the age of 12. Like, yes, I'm a privileged person. I'm not.
You were working since 12? Girl, what were you doing? What job were you doing at 12? There are child labor laws. Are they not in Utah? Because I used to work at the Minnesota State Fair starting at like 14. But I don't think at 12. Was it a lemonade stand? Did you sell your Cabbage Patch? No, she was too young for Cabbage Patch. Did you sell your Bratz dolls? Did you have an eBay? Oh my gosh, you guys. This is not real. This is not real. What job was she doing at 12 years old? Is she a child star we didn't know? She was like, I gets to clapping at my lemonade stand. I had the diet lemonade. I had the half sugar, the fake sugar, the real stuff. I was making that money because there was a recession. Okay. And there was the housing crash. Now we could have lost our house. We didn't. We could have been in economic dire straits. We weren't, but we could have. So I have to live with that every day, that we were just fine in a 2-parent household in Utah. And my mom had a savings account. But I had to live with knowing, what if we didn't? Like, what are you saying?
Disputing that. But if you look at what, let's just say, Ariana has done, and it's celebrated, and it should be, if you're not going to celebrate me as well, just leave my name out of your fucking mouth. And just so you know, I'm celebrating myself enough for all of us.
Right.
Yeah.
No one would be talking about you. You're the one that keeps talking. You won't shut up. What are you? Well, and she should be celebrating you. And okay, you're celebrating Ariana, and she should be. But you should celebrate me. And if you're not good, then just leave my name out of your mouth. If we leave our name out of your mouth, you know this, you're not going to make any money. You have now placed yourself in a category of you need people to like mention you. You need to do this and create this drama and shit, because that's how you're going to make money. Oh my God. Yo, this rabies bitch. Like, I don't know. I think this is just such projection. Maybe the rabies got her brain.
The finale episode of Vanderpump aired last night. Did anyone watch it? Did they show my purge?
I was unaware. I was supposed to be watching Vanderpump.
Don't worry, I didn't watch either.
Okay, okay. We will be watching though, because yes,
that's why I just asked. Do I have to watch this?
No.
Or can I just freeball it when we're talking about it?
No, because I'm not going to talk. I'm not addressing any VPR
Beautiful.
news
Don't wanna
until
watch any
third
so I
part of the reunion. And it's
Beautiful.
going to be very quick. You guys don't need to weigh in. I don't want questions. I'm going to say my piece. We're going to move on. And I never want to discuss season 11 again. And I hope by that time everyone gets their fucking rabies shots because they're foaming at the mouth. These fucking bitches in these streets on socials. I'm like, yo, Yo, amen, amen. We got
me tired.
What?
I said they make me tired. The rabies bitches.
Oh.
By the time
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
Not like us. Lala. You're just like so hashtag relatable. I mean, you can cheer for her, but you can cheer for me. What?
Say Ariana has done, and it's celebrated, and it should be. You know, if you're not going to celebrate me as well, just leave my name out of your fucking mouth. And just so you know, I'm celebrating.
What do you want to live in a safe space? She literally is like the South Park episode. In my safe space, so no one can have any criticism of you or say anything. If they celebrate Ariana, you can say whatever you want. You can run reckless at the mouth. You can make no sense, try to rewrite history, call people out, but no one can say anything back. That's like the definition of a weak bitch. That's literally the definition of a weak bitch. Is you want to say all the things and nobody can say anything back without you crumbling or crying victim. It's the old saying, like, if you can't take the heat, keep your ass out the kitchen. We on a mission. Come along and ride on the fantastic slide, slippery slide. It's Lala on the block in a 65. She could have lost her house. But she didn't. In the recession, but she didn't. I mean, it's weak. It's very fragile.
Myself enough for all of us.
Right. I celebrate myself enough for all of us. I celebrate okay, well then you should be fine. Miss High Self-Esteemies.
I'm going to tell you something that the creator of the show told me.
I don't want to hear about that.
You know, I'm a good villain for the show. So they're not going to humanize you by showing you.
Oh, wait, Tamara Silence. She's like, how come I never get good at it? How come I'm always the villain on the show?
Hanging out with your mom or your kids or things like that, because they like what you do, and the show needs that. And don't stop being who you are because of that.
And I never will. And I've known you for a while now, but even before I knew who you were, when I was, going to school, watching Housewives, being like, this is the most fantastic show. I've always loved and adored you. I know the drill now with reality TV. And I'm not saying that producers need to like show my philanthropic work. Is that what it's called? Like, you don't need to show me being a great human.
I mean, but they made time to show the smoothies.
Did she just say she was being a great human? No, it sounds like you want them to show these things so you can get praise because you're according to you, a great human.
Don't show any of it. Show me as a fucking villain. But guess what? I'm gonna need the viewers to fall back and enjoy and stop coming for me as a person. Like, you don't know me.
Right.
And you want to think that you do. You don't. There's many aspects to my life that I am very proud of. And if you don't want to celebrate them with me, then just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So she just wants us to shut the fuck up. We can't have she owns being the villain, but she doesn't own being the villain. She's a lone wolf, but wants to run in a pack. And if people don't agree with her, even though she has takes that she doesn't need people to agree with her, she's a free thinker, but she's also a group thinker. And she's like, I need the audience to fall the fuck back. She is beyond bothered. By what? By what? Do you know the season after season, Katie got so much hate. We never heard this kind of shit from Katie. She just was like, whatever. Because she's like secure in herself. She's not weak like this. Again, she wants to blame us. She wants to pop off at the mouth. Fall back. Fall back. You don't know me. You told us you were the realest piece of real that ever reeled, and you put it all out there. And then Ariana was the fake, and Katie was the fake. And you're the only real one. And now you're like, you don't know me? What? Oh, goodness gracious.
Change gears just a little bit. Let's talk about Lisa Vanderpump.
Okay.
Do you think Lisa Vanderpump's job?
She did say that. She welcomes comments. Yep. And now it's shut the fuck up. Because she can't handle it. She reacts purely. Her emotional intelligence is very, very low. She's just like, because she can't handle it. But she sure likes to dish it. And when you dish it, you got to be able to handle it. You can't go live then or do your podcast crying every minute. I can't turn on my live and go, you guys, this person said this mean comment about me. I can just delete and move on or approve and let it live in the world. Those are my options. I can't get on YouTube and go, you guys, somebody said I was a stupid bitch. Just shut the fuck up. Sometimes people are going to call me stupid bitch. I don't know. It's not going to stop me. I'm not going to tell you about my hard childhood because of it or some made up version of I'm just going to have to understand the fact that some people, you're not for everyone. You're not supposed to be for everyone. But Lala seems to think she's for everyone. I don't. This lady is cuckoo bananas. I'm gonna fast forward because
type in general where you can just make light of things.
Okay.
I picked that. I picked this neck. My first one didn't make the cut.
Right? Like there are certain things on this face where like if it was God given, shut the fuck up. But I picked them. It's all good. Like I've let it go. I didn't feel like it was flirting. I felt like we were having a conversation where we weren't lighting each other on fire.
I don't know. I felt
also, why does she keep stealing people's sayings? From calling Kentucky Muffin, stealing Vanderpump, from light people on fire, stealing Katie's sayings. Why are you so wiggity, wiggity, wiggity whack? Okay. Why do you keep stealing people's sayings? Get your own. You don't even go here. She doesn't even go here.
Even on my end?
No, I think you just have that personality type in general where you can just make light of things.
Okay.
I think he was awkward.
You think Lala can just make light of things? She's literally crying over comments on the internet that she is out there going, I can take it. I can take it. Say whatever you want. I want the comments. You guys tell me. And then people give her what she asked for. And she's like, that's it. Shut up. You don't know me. Disengage.
Trying to flirt with you.
Okay, I'll take it. I needed to flirt with somebody.
Schwartz hot tip. Get a tattoo on your face if you want this to go any further.
So then they talk about Schwartz flirting with her. And it is very disrespectful if you ever were a friend to Katie or ever want to be a friend to her again. To kind of her reactions to this, I think is just like gross, but it continues to be gross when people talk about this. She's like, oh, really? When really she should say, no, that is like my friend's ex-husband, completely inappropriate. I wouldn't want to hurt anyone, even if me and Katie aren't talking right now. But instead, she's like, oh, you think? Why do you think he has a crush on me? Because they're saying, a lot of people are saying that there was some chemistry between the two of them. And we talked about that over here. It was gross. I thought it was inappropriate. She's like, oh, really?
I need to like spice it up a little bit. I feel like I'm such an alpha in every part of my life. Like I'm playing.
Girl, you're a beta. I hate to break this to you. I can't be the first one to tell you. You're a poser and a beta. There is no alpha energy coming out of you. No.
And all of these like feminine roles, but then it's like I go out and I bust my ass and I have bills to pay and I'm like, got a family on payroll. So I feel like when it comes to my partner, I'm gonna need you to make me feel like this cute feminine little fairy, throw me around a little bit, smack my ass, and have a face tattoo. That's what I need.
Do you think?
Oh, like Randall, how he did. I love how she always says her type and it's the complete opposite of him.
That James and Allie are going to last.
I hope so. I really, really like her. You don't like her? Tell me.
No,
why.
I like her.
You don't like him?
It's not that I dislike him.
Oh.
I'm surprised with your history that you champion them.
I champion her. I think you know things that I have
also
tried
know.
to, and have tried to ask her about. And when someone says like that didn't happen, although I trust you guys, that's a really sticky situation.
You know who he is and who he can be.
Mm-hmm.
In general, regardless of what the rumor mill or Twitter says or any of those things.
Right.
That's what confuses me. How sometimes, and granted, I'm like this too, how there can be double standards on that show with the men we're talking about.
Okay.
Or your ex or any of those things.
My ex is in a very special category and I'm not condoning what any man does that is not right to a woman. When the problem is alcohol fueled and someone says, I'm going to go get sober, there is a part of me, because I have experience, that says, okay, I think that if you're going to go and be sober, I don't know that I want to say the slate is clean, but I can respect it because I've been in a place.
The person's trying.
The person is trying and acknowledging, and I've been in a place where I have not acted in a way that I am proud of. I've done things, said things, and I hope that people would give me a second chance because I've chosen to get sober. Am I making sense? I'm trying to be delicate.
But hasn't Allie made it clear that she's not going to be with him if he drinks again?
She's made that clear, and it does seem that the men on our show are very special, right? I don't necessarily know that I would want my daughter to be with any of them. I would not want my daughter to be with any of them. I will just say that.
That's funny.
Are you going to let your other daughter be on the show?
I'm crossing bridges when I get to them. As of right now, there's no show to be spoken about, so I'm not going to.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. I'll take yes for 500. Whoever's now hosting Jeopardy. Nikki 1989, thank you so much for the super chat. Love Ariana quietly thriving among these tantrums, right? Right? Just thriving. Isn't Love Island starting like tomorrow or something? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, she loves talking about other people's sobriety. She's also the sobriety guru. She tells you how to be sober. She says you can't be California sober. She's got all the opinions about it. She loves to tell people how to sober.
Worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
But it does make that does make me nervous. Just with the amount of hate that I was getting for being a mother that no one's ever seen, and now I'm thinking like now I have a baby that could film. I'm like, that scares me.
My only advice with filming with kids: never film bedtime.
Oh no.
Never film bedtime, because then your kids feel this like pressure, and then you feel this pressure like I have to be a good mom. And bedtime.
Oh, Teddy, I gotta fast forward.
How much I had made.
Yeah.
The money was already taken out of the account for the Palm Springs.
All right, guys. I think that is all I can do tonight. Like literally, these women are just, I think she does talk a little bit about like the money she made off Send It to Daryl. And they ask her about her finances and all these things. So yeah, Lala's a know-it-all. She knows everything. And yeah, that's the best advice, MG. Never film your kids, period, on a television show until they can consent to that. So yeah. And how do we know the kids are getting any of the money? But yeah, I figured you guys would be cool with it. I got to go get ready and pack for our camping trip that we're leaving on tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for joining here for a fun little late night live. We had over 1,000 strong, so please smash that like. Subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on social media at Joleen Lunzer on Instagram. I also have at No Offense All Offense on Instagram and at Joleen Lunzer on the TikTok. Thank you guys who have recently followed me on there, or those of you who have been following me for a while. I appreciate it so much. Shout out to my super chatters tonight. Steven, Pamela, Kirsty, Kelly Kell, Amalesh, Just Rubes, Pamela B, Chickenhead PK Neely, Justine King, Elaine Bennis, Amy Seeks Truth, Chickenhead again, Samantha Stevens, Linda D, Christina Byington, Notos 37, Christina Byington. Oh, can you try and Allah instead of Lala? And I told myself, and Allah is a problem. Mellencamp said her divorce or no neck. Thank you, Chickenhead PK Neely. Oh, please give me a break. Right, Nikki 1989. Thank you for the super chat. Says my friend is terminally ill, mom of 3 and smiling. Like sometimes you have to put things in perspective. Like everyone's struggle. People are allowed to. I mean, we're all allowed to. We don't have to have like the worst thing. You know what I mean? We can still feel like, okay, this is my journey, my struggle. But for her to be like, most women would fold under that. Okay, if we're gonna bring in most women, could you handle, Lala, what Nikki's friend is going through? Like, please just shut up. Ivy, I liked this chat, so I highlighted it earlier. Throwback to Lala saying on the show that her mom paid her rent and her boyfriend gave her money for rent that she just pocketed so she could come work at Surf for Fun. But we need to feel bad for her, guys. Yeah, she thinks we never saw the show. And she is just, she's had such a financial hard time. And so, Nikki, thank you so much. And Love Pink, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Jolene. Glad you love your notebooks and case. I adore them. They're so cute. And this is just like, this is my favorite. Right now, I'm always rocking like one AirPod because I always lose one. It's just what I do, and then I'll find it randomly. But isn't this just so cute? And I got to put stickers on it. It's so great. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's adorable. And my little notebooks. I love my little notebooks too. So thank you guys. Let me stop sharing my screen here. Don't forget to smash the like and comment after the video posts. I love hearing from you because I don't get to all the comments. You guys are all beautiful, wonderful pumpkin spice babies. You're not bullies. You're wonderful. And always remember to enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you see.